Make sure you're not on. Hold on, guys. We're on live. Go ahead and share. I'm just trying to get things situated here.
Welcome to the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. The show starts in
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go!
Welcome to the show. Buckle up tight. Rough-cut Rick Ruby in the spotlight. Champ spitting mouth Zmiz breaking it down. Best wrestlers podcast in this town. Blood and sweat in every word. Echoes of the ring haven't you heard? Wrestling tales, raw and true. Podcast alive, bringing it to you. Mr. G2 bringing the style. Austin Cage making the fans go wild. Cutting deep into the heart of the fight. Best wrestlers podcast, fun and bright. Blood and sweat in every word. Echoes of the ring, haven't you heard? Wrestling tales, raw and true. Podcast alive, bringing it to you.
We're kicking the party off right now, guys. Hey, what's happening? It is episode number 200, and we are here, guys, at the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. We've got a lot of surprises and things here for you. Of course, we've got a little four square here going for you. Of course, I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. The Gem City Mouse Zmiz is on the top right. Dirty Heel lost the cage down on the bottom right, and to the bottom left is GQ along with his
and
official
GQ and PQ.
What? I don't know. What?
I said GQ and PQ.
Oh, PQ. Oh, I thought you
Now
said
you
the
can
fourth.
You can
I
go.
thought you said the fourth letter of the alphabet, but I'm not going to digress on that. Gentlemen, it's been a long journey, and we are continuing to go. And for everybody who's watching now, we're going to be talking a lot about the history of the show, and of course, we're also going to be talking about some things that have happened this past weekend. Of course, over in Saudi Arabia with United Champions. We'll touch on that here in a little bit, but we're going to have a lot of surprises here that are coming up here for this episode here, guys. And guys, it all and we've actually got a couple of people that are going to be joining us here in just a short moment. I'm going to get that here. As I'm trying to get
Rolling.
that set up here. Trying to get that set up, of course. But GQ, like you said, this all started over 5 years ago. This is actually kind of like a COVID kind of a deal that turned into something a lot bigger.
It was you and me, our former producer that we had at the time, and your old lady and all that. We're just doing group chats for a while, playing games, or just because we were stuck at home, we were bored as heck.
Yeah,
So you and I came up with the idea. Let's start doing this stuff again.
it's not like it's been our first experiment either, because you had a internet radio show, and then of course our whole big Blog Talk radio experience.
Let's see. What was the show then for us?
Well, we had the Slam Zone Russell recap, and that was
And then and then there was also the RPW
Rewind, of
Rewind,
course.
Crazy Moon, Crazy Moon Weekly Wild Side.
If you're having trouble saying it, it's probably not worth saying. So just say
I'm being nice.
Don't hurt yourself. Do not hurt yourself.
do not hurt yourself. But hey,
But yeah,
guys,
it was. We won't mention the show that started it all because kayfabe. But
yeah,
it's one of those things. It's like I think that show that started it all started the whole podcast thing in the area. But then when we all took the break,
yeah.
came back for in 2020 to let's try to do some stuff, try to get things out there, give people a chance to promote themselves and everything while we wait for the world to open back up again.
Pretty much, and it took a long while.
Yeah, and it was a couple months before that. I mean, I don't even remember how many shows we were doing at first. Was it one a month or one every week or one every 2 weeks? Do you remember?
I guess it was like, I don't know. I think we tried doing it once a week, but I had to go back and take a look at the actual timestamps of the show that we actually did. But
I also remember, I was the better heel on the show whenever just pointing out that it was COVID. So I'm just throwing rolls of toilet paper all over me like I don't care, When you think toilet paper gets you over, when you think toilet paper would get you heat, come on now. That was the easiest way to get heat on that one back then. So
the world is a crazy place.
The easiest way to get heat with that would be doing a video where you're shooting toilet paper on somebody's house that you were getting ready to get in the ring with. That would have been the best way to get heat.
We didn't have the equipment that we have now to do that. Okay, I'm just saying.
Someone's taking a shot but hitting metal and it's ricocheting. So
that's funny. I wore a Beavis and Butthead shirt to work when I was working at Sam's Club during COVID that said "more TP for my bunghole, please." And my boss looked at me and goes, "Really?" And I'm like, "I did."
But that was the thing. We started so many other podcasts. You had Texans podcast. You have, there's so many others out there.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because of what we did 5 years ago.
Right. And look,
and
you're still doing it.
We've done so much in that 5 years as well, too.
Yeah, there's a lot that's happened in those 5 years. But like I said, we've got some surprises for people. And in fact, we're going to have one right now. That's going to be joining us here because we're actually going to have a couple of drop-ins here tonight. Here, just kind of just doing a quick check-in and just maybe giving us a little bit of a congratulations. But our first guest tonight is actually one we've had maybe about a few months ago, and she's really been tearing up the indie scene and actually putting out a good word here for the Allied Independent Wrestling Federations as their women's champion and just tearing it up everywhere she goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, how about you put your hands together for Miss Saver Brooks joining us here?
We are not ready.
Oh my gosh. So what I've actually said, and I've reached out to some certain people, I'm like, hey, would you mind maybe either dropping us kind of like a congratulatory promo, or maybe did you want to maybe drop in? It's like, it's like I'm kind of busy coming back from Delaware, kicking somebody's butt. So if you don't mind, I'll probably just drop in. So here's Ava. In all her glory, still as AIWF Women's Champion, to my knowledge, right?
Yeah, it's been crazy. So
she's still killing
last time I was on the podcast, it hadn't even been a month since I had been champion. And yeah. So tomorrow, well, we're really close to hitting 4 months since I won the belt, and we have a lot of fun things coming up. Some I can't share yet because I have to keep things under wraps.
Of course.
But a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, and and you've been really, if it's not like every week, it's sometimes every 2 weeks. But I see you defending the title constantly. You're constantly being booked everywhere, and defending the title, and just kind of getting your name out there. And like I said, some big things are going to be happening for you. And I know, like I said, keep things under wraps until they're ready to be released. And we just wanted to kind of reach back out to you because you won me and Zach over, man, as far as tearing up the women's division just on the indie scenes, especially up in the Northeast.
Facts.
I appreciate it.
I literally just said because, and you're a fan of hers, but I said it in the green room. I said, Ruby, can we switch Roxanne Perez with Ava Brooks? Because I would just be so much more happy.
I think a lot of people would, but you know, I mean, if I had my druthers,
and I love watching.
Yeah, so I mean, if I had my druthers, it'd be Mercedes Monet, but you know that we're not going to get deep into that. But
you already know who I'm picking.
Everywhere I go, I'm just going to start coming after everybody's champions, just taking their belt and leaving. That's what I'm going to do.
Or their job, whichever.
Well, I mean, you better watch out saying that too loud because one of the another guests in our back room there, he has a promotion where there's one female there that I don't know who is going to be able to take that young lady down.
I'll take her belt too. I'm going everywhere.
Somebody who, this person is a gargantuan 6'5", and she is no joke. So,
and she's taking down so many people around, like people that trained with Kane and Dr. Tom. I mean, nobody has been able to stop her so far.
See, we're giving her credit, but we cannot pass up how amazing this little packet. She's like a Polly Pocket come to life that just whips ass. Like that's who she is. That's who Ava Brooks is.
Zach, I don't think you know how to promote her effectively. You don't describe somebody as a killing force as a Polly Pocket. Okay,
it's because you're like, oh no, Polly Pocket, what? And then you see Ava Brooks come in there and she cripples you, rips your leg off. Come on, bro, dude, watch her, and you'll understand where it's coming from.
That's about as bad as calling her a Care Bear. Or
no, that is not. That is being respectful to this wonderful young lady who has a mouth of a sailor and will rip arms and legs off no matter the size of woman in the roster. So, like, no, I'm propping both sides up.
Just because she can be like on my Lego set that we have here on our display and all that, and actually be the same size as the pieces. I mean, come on now.
Oh, stop!
Hey, Maddie Margaret has not been in the scene for quite a while. Leave that girl alone.
I got at the Hall of Fame last week. It was funny that Jackal was not the smallest one in the room for once.
That's
just
horrible.
saying.
That poor
just
girl.
Saying.
That poor girl.
I can't wait to see Ava on one of the larger promotions eventually.
You know what
I agree.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do here, though, guys? I'm going to find a way to squeeze in another guest that's been waiting for us. Maybe we can kind of get a conversation talking about this. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of our favorite repeat guests, and probably collectively has had the most airtime of any guest here on the Falls Count Everywhere podcast.
Singularly and collectively. So,
and he only comes on like once every year.
Okay, but that's okay because he is the longtime promoter in the area of 52 years, the SICW promoter himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Herb Simmons is with us tonight as well. Hello, Herb.
Thank you, and thank you for the invite, and thank you for having the lovely lady on here with us, because I didn't want to be on here with all you ugly men.
Oh!
Wow.
Shots fired.
Hey, that's why he's not the real boss of SICW. That is Mickey that's the real boss. So
yeah, be quiet. She's sitting here in the room so she can hear you.
Love you, Mickey.
Yeah, but no, really, I wanted to just congratulate you guys because, I've been, I think I've been following it since episode 1. You guys have really kicked butt, and just bringing the talent on that you do. It's really been a good ride for you, as I can tell you.
Yeah.
And you've actually given us a lot of experience on here besides some of the hookups for some of the guests. Just us being live every year so far at the SICW Fan Fest. Those have been some experiences we can not ever repeat and we can never give away if we wanted to.
Well, and I think it helps also that, you follow the SICW All-Star Wrestling every Sunday evening. We just got through with that episode this week. And, ties right into what you guys are doing because you're keeping everybody up to date on. Of course, I'm not the guy that likes those big stages. I like it the ones that like Ava's out there on the. I hate the word independent, as I've said that now for 52 years because I don't look them as independent wrestlers. I look them at as professional wrestlers. Any place that you have to get a license, it doesn't say independent wrestler; it says professional wrestler. And they go out there, get their butts kicked, and they kick butt, and they do the same thing as the bigger stages do. They just make a lot less money, and it's unfortunate because that's just the way the business is.
Agreed, actually, 100% agreed. I know from my experience joining the group, you've become one of my biggest mentors and somebody that I love to bounce stuff off of, talk online with all the time. So I do appreciate and grateful to everything you've done for us here at Falls Count Everywhere, and for me personally. So once again, thank you, Herb, sir.
That's what this business does. It's a networking and it's a family. It's an extended family, and I tell our locker room that all the time. I know you were mentioning when I first got on here about Lilith Kahn. I mean, a graduate of the Bob Orton Ace Wrestling Academy, and she is out there taking names, kicking butt, and she's doing work all over. She was just up at 0-1, I think, this last weekend, and she holds a title over at Midwest Wrestling Coalition. Unfortunately, she's in that group of Devastation Incorporated with Stephen E. and Attila Khan and Peyton Ayers and people like that. So, but it all comes around. Karma's a B, as they call it back in the day. So,
yeah, right.
One day I'll be able to say bye, Felicia, to them, as they move on.
And Herb, please don't mention Attila Khan because 3 of us have PTSD from him. From all 3 of the fan fests, actually. Me, him.
We had a great show last night up in Belleville, Illinois. We did a fundraiser for the 5 Riverview Heights police officers that were shot last month during Fan Fest while we were over there. That Friday evening, that terrible situation happened. So we had an outdoor event up there. A good crowd came out, and the one female officer who was really, by the grace of God, she's still with us. I mean, she had her wound to her face and went in and cut her carotid artery, and 5 minutes longer she wouldn't have been with us. But Attila Khan was there last night against the Big Texan. Does anybody know the Big Texan?
It's my favorite rookie. Rookie.
I've heard of him, and I'm preparing for him just in case.
Yeah.
Well, I heard the big dogs in the room, so.
Yeah, the big dog with the Big Texan and Attila Khan tour West Main Street in downtown Belleville up last night. And
did anyone see what Attila posted on his social the other day of him in the same position of Harley Race on the side of the ropes? Like, that photo is amazing.
Yeah.
and the whole shout out that Justin Race gave, that there's only 2 people in the world that can do that.
Right.
Well, Justin Race is another interesting individual that has stories from his father from traveling with him. And because, Harley was not called the greatest of all times for nothing. And Justin, to be able to, he's doing a lot of podcasts now and talking to fans and telling the inside stories of those trips in the locker room with the different stars that Harley took him into. And so I think he's out there. He's going to be up in Iowa with us, and then he'll be out in Vegas with us also.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
let's talk about the I don't want to say the elephant in the room because you never refer a woman to that. Let's talk about Ava for a second here. I mean, have you seen much on her and all her?
I haven't seen a lot of the footage, but I sure have heard a lot about her, and hopefully someday she will come our way. And if she does, she'll have a place at SICW. I'm sure her and Lilith Kahn could really tear the house down.
Sometimes literally too, with how Lilith wrestles out there. So.
Miss Ava's a little pocket full of dynamite, just waiting to blow up in somebody's face.
I
Well,
thought you were
you
going
know,
to call me a Polly Pocket again. I was also
I attempted to do a better one.
well, you know what they say, dynamite come in small packages. And
Right.
I know that for many years of my good friend, Little Dynamite Tony Costa. You know, he
Yep.
my junior heavyweight champion for many, many years. And he went in there against people like the Giant Assassin. In fact, body slammed the Giant Assassin
Whoa.
Wow.
inside the ring at South Broadway Athletic Club. And he never backed down from anybody. He had some great matches with Tojo Yamamoto and the Gypsy Joe and Frank Morrell and the boys from down in Memphis. Tony didn't back down from anybody. He didn't care what size they were.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And I'm sure Ava's the same way.
No,
I mean, Ava, have you ever had a promoter call and say, "Hey, I want you to go against somebody," and she's 6'4" and 300 pounds, and you say, "I don't want to wrestle her."
See, I haven't had that situation happen yet, but I never turned down a fight, so I'm always like, all right, let's go.
That's what I mean. You got to be ready to answer that bell. Believe me, and that's where you'll get noticed, and that's why I think Lily is getting noticed the way she is now, because she doesn't back down. And you know, to be able to say she was trained by Bob Orton Jr. and the likes of the big Texan helping her, and Sean Vincent and people like that adds credibility, and I think that's going to take her a long way.
yeah. And let's just not mention that this SICW has been the host to many defenses of various AIWF championships. So I mean, we've had the World Heavyweight Championship defended there before. And isn't Gary Jackson still the national heavyweight champion?
No, that got switched back, but
Okay.
we've had Greg Anthony there defending the World Championship.
Yeah.
Matt Creed and his group got me involved several years ago, and it's been great. Been bringing in some of their talent and switching talent back and forth, and that's kind of what's all back. And we've talked about this now for 200 episodes about territorial wrestling, and you all know my feelings on that. That if promoters could ever get their heads out of their butts and sit down around the table and break bread, the possibility of giving workers more room to work would really work out.
I would love that.
Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean,
And I just want to say one thing. I attended that Hall of Fame, as GQ knows, last week, and I'm telling you, what a class act it was. I got there last year, but I was there just for a brief time because that was when we had Dr. Drew's mom's memorial, and I had a reunion for my former company that I had that we try to do every now and then. But this year, I mean, it was top to bottom, class act, Jim Harris and everybody, Luke Roberts, and then just to see some of the older talent, Ace Strange, and Jerome Cody, Philly Blunt, Mark Bland. Well, I didn't want to say him, but it's okay. But no, seriously, people who were there was all respectful, and just to be able to get them all in the room together. Now, as I told a couple of them, now I know when we walk out the door, I'll probably be the same SOB I was before I came in here, but. Real quick, the Butcher, Damian Blade, I got to give a shout out to him. He's one that was on me a lot about that 25-mile rule, which, again, I did not make. But he came up, wanted to bury the hatchet. I said, there's no burying the hatchet. This is wrestling. If you wear your feelings on your sleeve, you don't need to be in this business. So I just want to give a shout out to him because I thought it'd take a big man. Of course, I kind of joked there as he was going up on the stage. He kind of tripped. And I had already told Jim Harris, I'm not climbing up that step. I got these bad. So he had the microphone ready for me. But Damien kind of stumbled when he went up there. And so by the time I got up there, I kind of used that as my opening that said, hey, I'm not going to be like the Butcher and do a bump. So we laughed. And, of course, at the end, when we all got ready to leave, he come up and that's when he said, hey, I'd like to bury the hatchet. I said, there's no need for that. I said, I will tell you one thing, though. After I said the thing about you tripping, I wasn't going to follow that. I was going to mention that I had drove the distance from here to my house twice just to make sure it was within the 25-mile rule. And he said, oh, my God, I'd have lost it if you'd have done that. So it goes to show you, you can sit here, we can talk bad about people, and, life is too short. And that's what I told him. I mean, I want to know that I don't have no enemies. There's the word hate. I don't like. We can disagree to disagree, but then that just goes to show you. There was a guy that said, I don't want nothing to do with Herb Simmons, and of course before that he was glad to come to work for me, and now we kind of kissed and made up. And so again, if he's listening or out there, I want to give him a shout out.
Nice.
Oh yeah. So we all could work together. I mean,
I still think line of the night though from the Hall of Fame was what Pete Madden said, and I think Austin would agree with this. Black don't crack, but crackers crumble.
Yeah, I mean,
and all of us here, we're falling apart.
Hey.
Okay, come on.
Hey, I don't sunburn, so I'm good.
there you go. But
Chris?
how do you not sit there and hear a mouse crawl across the floor when somebody like Pete Madden, the human wrecking ball, is talking? I mean, here's a guy that can go out and make a broomstick look like $1 million, in a ring.
And he did it. He did it to a tree, actually.
He's done it, and I'm telling you. And so, Ava, I don't know how long you've been in the business, but that's what you got to look forward to: getting a reputation of going out there and just making that name for yourself. Because there's one thing about it: nobody's going to make it for you.
Yeah.
You gotta go get it. You gotta reach out and grab it and take it. And years down the road, you're gonna say, "Man, Herb Simmons told me to go do that," and that's what I did.
I would say 2 weeks ago, I just hit my 1 year because I debuted the day I turned 18. So it's been crazy, and I actually had this small video blow up on Facebook. So I have 30-something thousand followers on there, and I'm building my fan base on other platforms. So social media has definitely helped, even though I hate social media, to be honest, which is weird as a 19-year-old. But I feel like it helps a lot, especially with the younger generation of wrestlers, because that's what we got.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, many years ago I couldn't say social media, and now they tell me I'm the social media guru. And I keep saying I'm going to use it until they start charging for it because it's a free way to get your name out there. Sometimes I don't understand it because I'm too old. I got a picture and a video of Tommy Wildfire Rich and I out there, and it's got 60,000 views on it. Now, how the hell does that happen? An old guy like me and an old guy like Tommy Rich getting 60,000 views.
Because old school is still cool.
Tommy Rich kept going back and forth on that. That's what it was.
Yeah, old school. There you go. Old school is cool. You're right.
I mean, when I was watching the show this before ours today, All Star, you had Dusty Rhodes and them on there. I can't remember who was wrestling because it was two different matches. If not mistaken. Yeah. And stuff. And then he had the awesome call out to Bruiser Brody and all that kind of stuff. And Dusty's one of my favorite because I remember my grandma just raping and raving about him when she saw him. So seeing those old matches, plus getting to see the new stuff that you guys produce in All Star, man, I absolutely look forward to. And if I don't get to watch it before we go on the air with Falls Count Everywhere, because we're trying to put everything together for our show, I will usually watch it afterwards. But
well, stop and think if back a few years back, if Vince McMahon, before he made his sale, if he'd have took all the archive material that he's bought up and he's done what we did, wouldn't that be great to sit there, even on a Monday night, you watch all the stuff that he's building up, then all of a sudden he drops in a Killer Kowalski against a Haystack Calhoun, or Dusty Rhodes against a Ric Flair.
Actually, now if I was them and if I was Triple H, I would do it on LFG.
Sure, yeah. You talk about pulling that demographics together. Oh my God, it's a win-win. But I'm not Vince McMahon, and if that group starts doing it now, I'm going to take credit for it and sue them.
Oh, I will give you 100% credit. We'd be dumb not to, because you are. That's the great thing about SICW, and I've said it multiple times and many times. You guys are keeping that lineage alive, because I know Ruby, GQ, and even Austin down there, we always pump things back and forth of old shows or old matches or just things. And then I've talked with you, Big Texan, about how I went and dug into Stan Hansen like a mother trucker, to realize that Stan Hansen was my JBL, and that's JBL is my Stan Hansen. Sorry, had that backwards. But like that's the cool thing about professional wrestling is seeing those connection dots and seeing like some of the guys of old and what they were doing, and then how some of the guys of new have kind of tweaked it or changed it or paid homage 100% to. I mean, Lou Thesz, we still say the Lou Thesz press when he hits when anyone does the jump up and starts pounding the crap out of somebody. So, like, that's a cool historical moment in professional wrestling that you guys in SICW do very well of keeping alive. So,
well, I appreciate that, and that's what it's for because I do a lot of podcasts. I get invited to do them, and that first question that you ask everybody, and all these other podcasters do. How do you get into business? I got into it as a fan or a mark, whatever you want to call it. I don't like that term, mark, but I mean, people spend their hard-earned money and watch you guys perform, and they are fans, and that's what I love, and that's how I got involved in it. And I'm still a fan. I mean, I don't keep up with the new stuff. Give me a match of Ava against some other person, and I can sit there and watch it. I don't watch Monday Night Raw unless I know Randy's going to be on there because I have a personal connection with Randy, and his dad may call me and say, "Hey, they're shooting an angle with Randy," and watch it. And then, but I just can't. I'm just not. I'm old school, and give me that Lou Thesz against a Buddy Rogers or somebody like that. I'll sit there and watch it all day long.
I just watched that match the other day because Buddy Rogers. I posted a thing about him being the first World Heavyweight Champion in WWE. No, because
the WWF.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Sir.
Way back before that.
I couldn't remember which one it was. Remember, too many damn letters sometimes.
Too many W. Everybody got a letter. Everybody got a number.
I couldn't remember what it was, but I had to go look up some of his old matches and stuff because of it. Because that's what happens to me. I'll be searching through the internet, and then like a Facebook post or something of an old school match come up, and then I'm like, okay, I'll sit there and watch it for a little, and then I go look up the whole match. So,
yeah. Hey, while I think about it, I want to give a shout out to one of your fans, one of my fans, a great friend, Frank Murphy. He just had surgery, and he's recuperating at home. So get well, Frank. We need you back at ringside with Don Simmons, my brother from another mother, of course. But you guys rock it out, and so I hope the shoulder's doing better.
Yeah. So you're mentioning him. We're gonna be bringing on another here, guys. And like I said, I don't know how much time you guys have. I know Ava's on the East Coast.
Before you bring on the other person, real quick, I do want to say something to Ava. She started it out right. She's gonna have a good future. So many that are starting young are getting so many opportunities and busting their ass a hell of a lot better. You got Ava Brooks, you got Madison Miles, Izzy Moreno, Lilith Khan, Maddie Monarch, Ashlyn Alexander. I mean, so many of them are going far, and I've seen a lot of her work. I mean, I wasn't here when you guys had her on the show because you didn't like me, but I did have her on.
You couldn't make it, jerk.
I did watch a lot of her stuff, and I'm impressed. And it's like, so many that start young, they have the energy and everything rather than, starting, in their 20s or anything like that. I mean, and I have a lot of respect for that.
Well, Ava, if you get in the St. Louis area, let me know, and you'll have a shot here, and we'll see if we can help you continue to follow that dream. And it sounds like you've already caught it, but just don't let go of it. And on the other thing I wanted you, and I know you remember this from this week at the Hall of Fame, look at Chris Exodus. I gave him a shout out.
Oh, yeah.
I asked him to stand up and got him a round of applause because, not that I needed it, he can get his own round of applause, but that's a young man that has fought his way up from the ground. And, he's working down in OVW. He's doing all kinds of other stuff. And that's why I applaud him for doing that. So,
I always knew a lot of that talent down there in CHWA had it. That they had it, and they just needed the right people to help boost them instead of burying them like a lot of people were doing. And with Exodus, when you were doing that, I turned and looked at him, and he's shaking his head no, like, don't bring it about him. He had that much respect for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. And in all fairness, when you talk about trying to bury people, but that was a two-way street. A lot of times egos, and I've said this, and Z and Rick, I know you've said it. When I hear people say that, oh, wrestling has changed. No, wrestling has not changed. A headlock is a headlock, the same now as it was back in the 30s and 40s and 50s. Arm drag, a wrist lock, it's all the same. The thing that has changed in wrestling more than anything is the egos. You know, if people would check their egos at the dressing room door and understand that this is, we're out there to entertain the fans, or yous are, you workers. Like I said, wrestling hasn't changed. It's the egos. So,
Yeah.
and that's what was going on over there. But I think once they got those egos in check, Jeremy Lightfoot came on board, and Jeremy Lightfoot said, knock that crap off. We're going to go out there. We're going to do a job. We're going to be respectful, and we're going to give it, and then we should get respect. And that's what turned out being there. Now they got respect. You can believe that.
Yeah. Well, and also when me and Blade were helping them out when others were trying to, and then they gave up, is like screw it and everything because their egos were getting in the way. But me and Blade,
so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and gave them that boost. Lightfoot and Doc Lombardi, when they showed up there, gave them the boost and everything though too, and put them over the top. Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree.
Shout out to Chris, and then like I said, Ava, keep on trucking, and but just don't wear yourself out. Don't get burned out. Don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Ruby, you were bringing out somebody.
No, yeah. I'll just say this real quick though. You know, like I said, Ava's here. You know, I mean, like if Ava's got any type of feedback when she's been back on the show, I mean, I think it was like maybe 3.5 months ago, something like that.
Yeah, I think like 3 months ago.
Yeah. But all I got to say here is take advantage of these. I mean, the way you're getting these road trips, take advantage while you can, because man, my first 2 years in the business, my goodness. I mean, I've had so much, but of course I just hit 21 too. So I was being a little bit more irresponsible traveling, but you know, but it is what it is. But make sure you enjoy these times while you can, because for me, I loved road tripping. I love hitting different different promotions, different states. I mean, it was a blast. Take advantage of that while you can.
So every other suggestion, and I don't know if you're doing it, you may be doing it as a young lady. Are you keeping track of your matches and where you're traveling to? Or are you keeping?
I do. I have it in a document on my phone.
And then the other thing is take all the photos you can take, because when you get to be my age and you're sitting there and you're wanting to look at what can I do, you pull out them photos, and I'm going to tell you what, it's the best medicine. It's better medicine than a doctor can give you, to go back.
My mom, she's like, I call her my personal photographer. We have a couple shows up at home that she takes ringside pictures for. So I have pictures from every single one of my matches. And I think I think yesterday was 31. So
there you go.
Nice.
And Ruby, wouldn't you like to know that you had done that from the time you started? Hell, you'd have had a Bible by now. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, I can remember most of it, but you know,
tell me what your last match was.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking with you, but I'm telling you, it's just what you learn in the business. I mean, you need to be able to say, my 20th match I took on so and so. I mean, it's just your own personal knowledge, and it's good medicine for you.
St. Clair. Okay, there. I got that 2 gigabytes of RAM that keeps buffering as they got the applications open. So that's why it took a while. But yeah, St. Clair. So
yeah.
Yeah, call me on the spot, Herb. Thank you very much.
Did you win?
Yeah, I did. In fact,
wow, that's
I delivered my leg drop of doom, baby. No one gets up for my leg drop of doom.
Now,
no one gets up.
Do you know anybody that you're going to ask that question to that's long ago that's going to say they didn't win? He gets to tell it the way he wants.
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not Goldberg in my first 170 matches. I'm sorry. But speaking of people who old and forget, we got another guy coming on. No, he's got the host of his own podcast as well, the Squared Ring Podcast. and of course, former classic champion of SICW. Let's bring on the big Texan, everybody.
Dude, he's gonna lariat you now like that referee that he did. Come on, guys.
Is he on?
I don't know. He was there.
It shows offline.
Oh, it shows offline? Oh.
Get him back on there. Come on, Texan, get on there.
Sorry.
Oh, if you look at it, I thought he's just been patiently still and everything. I think he's just been frozen. I think.
You know what it is? He fell asleep. I bet you. He had such a rough night last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he had a hell of
Let's
a
go back.
But Ava, word of advice.
His name tag
Is,
said best rookie around. God, I love Texan. Sorry.
But I got a word of advice for Ava. Don't be afraid to ask questions after your match. Like, people that's been there for a long time, like, say, what did you think? What advice can you give me?
Yeah.
That's one thing Tracy Smothers told me when I wrestled, was always ask me if you need somebody's opinion. So don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, I think we might have gotten him back, but let me just double check to make sure he's out. I don't know. He says he's offline again.
Yeah. And Ava, remember that if you get to the point where you feel you don't have to ask questions, then you better start looking in the mirror. Because in this business, you're gonna run across so many people that you can learn experience from, and then what you do is you start giving that experience to the new people. This is just a turnover. That's a turnover. That's why I'm looking for somebody now to be a good promoter. My son is joined at my hips, because I'm not going to be here forever. And there's people that says, well, when you go, what happens to SICW? So there's a lot of history and a lot of legacy there that I hope somebody can carry it on, and hopefully it's him. And but he may say, it's too much work. I can't do it, Dad. But we'll see.
I know. Wake up, Tex.
Yeah, Amy, wake up, Tex.
I gotta find out what. Hopefully, GQ's around. I don't know what happened to him.
GQ went to
It had to be the hat.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, there was a. I'm trying to find out exactly where my next thing I was going to do here for you guys, because I actually had something in here. Oh yeah, I'm ready. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, Curl. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
And here, I thought you were going to put on the blonde wig for old times.
Brother, you better stop it right now. I already got teasing over that shirt for so many weeks. Knock it off. You're at the bottom of this totem pole. I'll be no problem. Slide you off like a kebab.
Shots fired by Austin.
That's me keeping it PG.
Guys, well, all right. Here, I wanted to go ahead and get this played out here for you guys. This is going to be about 3.5 minutes, but I put together a little bit of surprise package in regards to the podcast. So sit back and watch this, and we'll be right back, guys.
Falls Count Everywhere podcast at 200 episodes? Son of a bitch. That's great. You guys are killing it. Keep killing it and being yourselves. Remember, the best thing you can do is be you. Congratulations. 200.
Hey everybody, this is the Underground Assassin, Ricky Reyes. I just want to take a second here and congratulate a good friend of mine, Zach, and everybody at Falls Count Everywhere podcast. They are going to be producing and distributing their 200th episode coming up. And I just want to say congratulations, guys, and hope to talk to you guys soon. Take care.
Well, a big congratulations, I hear, is in order for the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. Myself and my beautiful dog, Morgana, want to wish Zmiz, Rick Ruby, and all the wonderful people over at Falls Count Anywhere podcast a huge congratulations on the 200th episode, man. It's a huge milestone. Celebrate the win, gentlemen. Firm handshakes all around.
Yo, it's Big Nasty Glenn Williams here. I had to get on here and say congratulations to the boys and the Falls Count Everywhere podcast. boys, episode 200. Let's go. Yeah, you love to see it. I appreciate you guys. You always let me on the show. You give me a great platform. Even though you guys are dicks to me sometimes, I still love you. So I just wanted to say congratulations. Here's the 200 more. And don't forget, everywhere I go, I'm the star of the show.
When I heard that the Fall Count Everywhere podcast was about to air its 200th episode, I said to myself, who better than to talk about that than the guy who is literally everywhere. So, as it gives up the championship wrestling heavyweight champion, the Alpha Underground champion, Sean Cruz is more than qualified. I wish you guys a happy 200th episode. Here's to the ratings, stay through the roof, and if you want them to stay there, but today is about you.
All right, Zach was just saying it's his 200th episode. I don't know what happened to it, but I was throwing him up there, and I think I deleted it. But it's their 200th episode of Falls Count Everywhere, so that's really good.
Well, let's congratulate them too, because those guys have really worked real hard to get where they are today. They've done a great job, man. So congratulations to you guys, and just keep on doing the hard work. And like I said, playoffs, Falls Count Everywhere.
All right. Hey guys. Okay, here's the wrong one. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I guess Ava had to go, which is okay. We'll get.
You should be able to bring the dog.
Yeah,
on
I should be able to bring the guy who.
Yeah.
Apparently, I put him to sleep. I think I did. So.
That's because you suck.
Bro, what is with all the hate this week? What the hell? I think he's just mad because I made him buy a headset so he's not crackling when he's talking. So I think that's the whole big deal. Oh my goodness. But let's bring on our next guest. And like I said, a former SICW Classic champion, the host of the Squared Ring podcast. Let's bring on the Big Texan, everybody. He's here right now. There he is. He's finally here. Good to see you, Tex. How's it going, man?
I think you got him muted.
Do I have him muted? Oh, I do. Oh, hold on a second.
Why can't I unmute him?
I sent him an unmute. He rejected the. Let's see. Hold on.
See, I can't read either.
This is why you're the best rookie around.
This is why some places he had a manager. I'm just saying.
Well, I just need to take you along everywhere with me. How's it going, guys?
I usually had to figure out the phone for him, so.
So 200 episodes, man. That is an awesome achievement there. We haven't even got there. I think we're on episode 114 now, so we still got a way to go.
Yeah.
But congratulations on this, man. This is a good honor.
Nice.
Hey, it takes a while. I mean, if we're going to keep continuing to do episodes, you continue to do episodes. I don't know how far that gap's going to close, but you'll eventually get there. I mean, it'll take a bit. Like I said, our next one's 300, and that is if we get there. Just like
we're going to get there. We're going to get there. If my foot has to stay firmly placed in your buttocks, we're going all the way, buddy.
Oh my gosh,
dude! This is one of my favorite things. Like, as much as sometimes, like, in all of us, all 6 of us can agree to this and attest to this. We do it all the time. We get to an event, or we have an event coming up, and we're just like, I don't want to do it. I don't even want to go. And then we get there, we got the groove going, we get the stuff shaking off, and it's like, this is the only place I want to be, bro. This is it right here.
But
Anytime I'm in,
probably thinking, is that a pleasure or a punishment?
I mean,
put up the ass.
True. No, why'd you have to go that way, Stetson? Why'd you have to go that way?
I'll tell you who it's not a pleasure for. It's not me.
I'll just slam him into walls on Friday night when Zmiz is canceled gaming.
Oh
I
my
look-
gosh!
I like what Frank
So-
just said.
He said a foot.
Oh, I can't see that stuff. See? Oh, there it goes. Hey, you can scroll through that stuff. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hey, way to go, rookie! Thanks for finally getting it down.
Well, you know,
Tex, what's your podcast called?
the Squared Ring podcast.
I was about to say, they do awesome toy stuff because Texan, if you haven't noticed, is a toy collector. So him and I always are sharing back and forth. Like, not, I mean, I just watch what he does, and then he watches on here sometimes what we do. So I love that kind of stuff. I'm so happy you guys started doing the toys and showing off your finds, man. Because that's been one of my favorite parts of your guys' show.
It doesn't even have to be toys, man. I'm just hooked on wrestling. So,
Oh yeah, facts.
Books, audio CDs. I went to a yard sale the other day, and this guy was telling me that he had some wrestling stuff because when you go to yard sales, they ask you, what are you here for? And I said, wrestling, and he goes, well, I got a bunch of pictures that I don't like. I mean, not that he didn't like, but he has no use for them anymore. And, so it's like pictures of Bret Hart, Owen Hart. Herb will know this,
go
gentlemen.
back to the Owen. Go back to the Owen. Go back to the Owen.
That was high energy, Owen.
There's Joe right there, Herb.
That's awesome.
I think I know where he got those photos from, though, too. An old shirt shop.
Oh.
Hey, Texan, that was Mickey.
Oh, that was Mickey? I thought that was Joe.
Oh, no, yeah. Joe was bald, bro.
Oh, that one's sick.
Yeah, no, those all look familiar. I've seen those before.
But,
Owen, no. Let me see that
Hot
Owen.
Rod and everything. And we just got talking in the wrestling.
You're going to see the
That's what
Owen.
I do, talk wrestling. By the end of our conversation, he goes, man, why don't you just take these? You're going to do a lot more with them than I have. And hell yeah, they're going to be on the wall here pretty soon.
I don't know if you've seen this one, Texan. This is my last gift that I was given because my buddy just knows I'm a wrestling fanatic. He's like, I was at the pawn shop. No, he's at a thrift store. He's like, I saw this. I bought it for you. It's the Slim Jim Macho Man.
Herb's got one of those too.
Yeah, dude, I was pretty pumped. It's in great condition.
Man, those are so expensive.
I've actually got two of them.
Oh, damn.
Oh, lucky.
They got a new one coming out this weekend. It's all red, white, and blue for the 250-year celebration.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we hitting up some gas stations.
Yeah. Now you're looking for the LA Knight one where the
I do want the LA Knight one. I'm not gonna lie, that would be sick to have both of them.
They'll have an audio button on the front of it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really open to that actually, because in all honesty, they kind of do go hand in hand. Those two guys in a way.
Yeah, he's definitely a throwback. Even with the low cut boots. I'm a sucker. If I'm watching a wrestling match, because me and Herb were watching one together at a local show, Midwest Coalition, and some of the people were watching the wrestlers, and I was like, man, I really like those boots that guy's got. And so I was more interested in the boots that he was wearing because they were the old throwback, black with the white laces, but it was the old school style boots. I mean, that was more interesting. That probably bad to say that it was more interesting than the match. Because I tell you what, I can't even remember the match or who was wearing them.
But that's a different perspective of fandom to the show. Like, you've been in the business, you've been around it, and still learning. Because you and I talked about that at FanFest, how you're still learning about the business, even being in the business as long. And that's why I said it to you then. I'll say it to you now. You and I have not really done anything with each other, for each other, just talk to each other. But I see you as a mentor in this business, and I love sitting there and just talking wrestling with you and just shooting the breeze.
It's even when I was the coach for the Ace Academy. I'm 350 pounds, so I don't move around like a person that weighs $120. But I had, as a coach, it was still my responsibility to figure out how to get in different holds and teach that as I was like 120 pounds, you know. So like the Indian Deathlock and stuff like that. I was teaching them that so they can, like Lilith Khan. She's got legs for days, so she's able to get in that Indian Deathlock. I'm waiting for her to pull that out.
That'd be
But
sick.
so you never stop learning in the business. In this business, and right there on that screen, Herb is a great mentor because we talk almost daily, and I still learn things because they say politics isn't a big part of the business, but man, it is, and so much stuff besides airplane tickets and for like this fan fest, I seen her pull out hair, so just the backstage, not really politics, but what you have to deal with on getting, like, one year, we had 62 legends, and just
Don't remind me.
yeah, just having to deal with the airfare back and forth, plus their fee to stay, plus riding them back and forth to the airport. There's so much stuff that you learn just by Herb said it best when he met Sam Mushnick. Keep your mouth shut and your ears open, and you'll learn and you'll go far. So, and I use that quote all the time.
Yeah,
and now
my
everyone's
goodness.
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's almost impossible sometimes for this younger generation knowing how to shut up.
Well,
Yeah.
But they learn at some point.
Yeah, Tex. Let's kind of take it. If we're gonna talk wrestling talk, and we're talking about this new generation. I mean, because I'm sure you've had come across your share of people who didn't really, that were trying to go against the grain and instead of going with the flow. So, kind of explain how and the reasons why guys that are going into school are going to get trained, why they are, why the reason why they're there, right?
Well, so I've had people at the school. I mean, we've had a lot of students come, and only a few graduate, and that's anywhere, because a lot of these students, like the lady you had on earlier, the internet is a good thing and a bad thing, or social media, because some of these students, they watch a YouTube video and watch a Monday Night Raw and think that they can do it, and they come to the school like that. They already have an ego, and they think their shit is better than anyone else. And then when you put them in a hold and tell them to try to get out of it and they can't, you kind of have to put some of these people in their places. But not even students at the school. I've been to other companies where, again, if I first meet you and you're standing across the ring from me, unfortunately, if you're skinnier than me and do all this aerial shit, I'm not doing that. So you're going to have to work my game. And I am slow, and, I put everything in there. So, I remember working with this one guy, and he was talking about all this stuff he was going to do. And he's not even talking to me. I'm overhearing this. And I'm thinking, none of that shit's going to happen. And when we got in the ring, he worked my match. I didn't work his match. He worked mine. And at the end, he goes, "How come you didn't tell me you're going to do all that stuff?" Because you don't need to know. Then that's a bad thing in this business. Old school, good guys are in one locker room, heels in another, and you do the business in the ring. I love it. It's my best matches. It's the way to go. I was watching, the CAC posted a video of a show that they did last year, and they're doing one this year too. So, Ruby, if you're going this year, I don't know if you want to do this, but I'm kind of interested. They posted a video of the matches from a show they had last year where they had all the wrestlers in the audience, basically, and the legends that came to the CAC, the selected few, made the matches right there in front of the audience, and literally the two wrestlers stood up and got in the ring and wrestled their match, and that's what I like. But yeah, going back full circle to what you're talking about, sometimes you just got to check them in the beginning. And sometimes, I get stumped. Some people I thought was not going to make it actually stuck around and worked. And other times, as soon as you see the students, you know they're not. And, that the first time they're there is the last time they're there. So, it's a wild ride, and it's just another part of wrestling that I love to deal with. But I'll give everyone a shot if they're willing to put in the time and the effort. I mean, even Herb can, talk about Brandon Beretta. He was one of the, I think he was the second graduate of the school, and that kid is, shot to the moon. He is everywhere. And then we got Lilith Khan, but out of those two, there was probably 30 of them that came in there and thought they can do the work. And they're not there now. So,
Well, and I think credit to Bob and you and Sean and the other coaches. I told you I wanted to get the cream of the crop, and I hate to bust some of the potential students' bubbles, but there was nights that I could come in on their first or second night, and I could tell who had what I was going to be looking for. And when he brings up Brandon Beretta, I mean, when he came in, what was he, 260 pounds or something? A little fat, chubby kid, chubby cheeks, and you could tell he had the heart. But I was second guessing him. But I'm going to tell you, when you look at him now, he's money. So somebody better get a latch on him real quick.
Yeah, I think the NWA is trying to get a hold of him and lock him down.
Yeah, if they don't, it's shame on them because they're passing up a great piece of talent. And what I like about him is he's working smart. He's followed what you and Bob and everybody's taught him. Stay on the ground, go in there and wrestle. He's doing moves that takes me back to the 50s and 60s. The holds that O'Connor and Thez and Bockwinkel and all those guys were doing, the reversals and the takedowns. And as long as he does that and stays healthy, he's going to have a good career.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Brandon is something that I feel like is missed is like the chain wrestling where how guys would go back to back, right? Like, and spin and do the waist lock and try to get a German or something, but then they'd spin and do another waist lock and then go to the. Brandon's bringing that whole flow back. What made Kurt Angle, what made Bob Backlund, what made all those guys so fun to watch because you had your power guys and then you had your ground guys that just worked holds and tore pieces apart. And I love that about Brandon.
The great thing.
And you bring a good point up there. When Kurt first started and when he wasn't doing all of that crazy stuff, he wasn't getting hurt. And look what happened the minute they started putting him in those spots where he was doing those wild matches and taking the bumps and everything, ends up with necks having to be fused and all of that stuff.
I see this.
His longevity got slowed down there.
Right.
That's one of the things I like about our school is we have generations. We have Bob's generation, we have my generation, and then, of course, we have the current product. So I'll just tell you, one of the students one day came up to me and said, "Hey, can you teach me how to do this move?" And they called it something. I was like, "I don't even know what you're saying. I don't know what the move is." So he looked it up on YouTube and showed it to me. I was like, "Oh, well, that's such and such." And so I got up in the ring and immediately got him in there. And then Bob goes, "What's that called?" Talking about my era of calling it. And he goes, "That's not what we call it. We call it this." And then Bob would get in and put him in the same move. And that's, I really, it's really cool because, like everyone says, old school is cool. They just tweak it and throw a different name on it or, use it in a sequence or something. Yeah, it's just cool when you can, and that's one thing that I learned from the students, because God, everything's got a different name now, than my generation, and of course, again from Bob's generation, it's totally different too. But it's definitely cool, and it keeps me on my toes being a trainer.
It's that rookie for life right there mentality.
Rookie for life.
Yeah.
Honestly, Texan, you make a shirt like that, I have to buy that. I would put that in my collection of wrestling tees.
When Herb said Mark, I'm thinking, man, that would make a great shirt too.
Yeah.
Mark.
I'd buy it. I'm just saying, I'd buy it.
I'm a proud one.
Tex, I can't remember if I
Tex,
I can't remember if I asked you this. Oh, go ahead.
I tell the story all the time, and I actually am trying to create a children's book. It's almost done, and it's a version of my life story growing up. My dad watched wrestling at the Chase. He watched Monday Night Raw, and I was his little buddy that would sit next to him, and he worked 2 jobs, but he always had time for wrestling. And so his time to relax was also my time with him, and just that love of him watching wrestling made me love watching wrestling, and it's been in my life ever since. So we all start off as fans or get hooked on a situation that's going on in the wrestling, and it just grows from there. But yeah, what were you going to say?
I can't remember if I asked you this when we was in St. Louis when you was on the podcast. How many years have you been working?
I'm gonna throw that back to the joke about Ruby and what the last match he worked, because I think I'm 25 years in, 25 or 26 years in. There is matches that I
Austin,
see on
you watch the
YouTube that
Flintstones?
I don't remember being in.
Did you watch the Flintstones?
You ever watch the Flintstones? The dinosaur. Dino. Whatever they call it.
It's. I almost tell people the situation of the wrestlers at South Broadway that helped train me, and that normally puts in the year for me because I was trained by Gino the Exterminator. I was trained by God. Well, even Jeremy Lightfoot had a part in my training, and I think he was 18 or 19 at the time when he was training me, and I was older than him.
Oh wow!
So it's the best. I'll tell you one of the stories of one of my trainers, and then he's Blackheart. All right, so Blackheart was training me one night, and Blackheart, he goes, and I might have told this on this podcast before. But he goes, you ever have a problem with a wrestler? I'm going to tell you how to solve it. You demand a match with that person that night. And here's what you do. You take a bottle of lemon juice, you bring it in with you, and you fill your hands up with that lemon juice. And when first move, you try to lock up. No, you rake him in his eyes. That was my training. Back when I started, they tried to beat you to death and see if you come back the next day. Not quite like Hulk Hogan where they break your leg or something, but they did try to break you mentally.
Get your money and then beat the hell out of you so you don't come back.
Yep. And, I loved it. I love that way of training. It's not how we can train today because most people can't, they need a safe place. So you can't beat them down like that anymore. But I love that, and that's what I needed too, and eventually Gino became like my second father, because I had that much respect for him. I seen him so much like he was my father, because back then you were, Broadway, their training gym was open Monday through Friday. So I tried to hit it up every day. I would literally get off of work and head straight there. So it was a good year of my life in training before I even had a match. And I tell that story all the time too. Before I even had a match, I got fired from Broadway 3 times. So, you know.
Yeah, because I would like when I was training, I trained for like 8 months before my first match, and Tracy Smothers down at the Coliseum in Evansville, where I'm from, he'd just sit there on the outside, and after you got done doing your training in the ring, he'd sit down with you for about 10 or 15 minutes and then go through everything. So he was probably the best one to give advice from or get advice from.
Yeah, oh, hands down. You know, any criticism, as long as it's based in trying to help you out, is great.
Yes.
And to this day, I have students that's already graduated, and they'll send me their videos. Or, like, if I'm there at their show, they'll stop me, have me watch their previous match, and break it down for them of what they did good or did bad, or what they could do to actually hype up the crowd. Because I was giving the advice to one of my former students that way, because, you know, they were doing like a build up where he was doing a comeback, but he wasn't reaching out to the crowd to get them, involved. And I said, man, you got to, send signals and move the hands, get them to come up with you. Well, you're struggling to pull this off, and you need them behind you, and that's what he was missing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love wrestling, and I'll do anything for it, and I live wrestling 24 hours a day.
Now, are you one of those guys? I think you and you've talked with me about it. I think you're more of an old school wrestling fan, but do you still enjoy watching, WWE, AEW? 'Cause we're not big AEW guys. I watch it more so because there's people in there that I actually do still like, so I watch it for them, not for the whole product really anymore.
So I watch it because I talk about it on the podcast, of course. I didn't watch it for the longest time, and Cody Rhodes coming back to the WWE brought me back where I was actually watching it just to see where that story was going. And then I liked the whole Tribal Chief and their little clique that they had going on. They kind of really ruined it right now because that whole stable is all broken up, and I don't know how to pull it back together. But
it's still one of my favorite storylines in a weird way.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still love. I love watching YouTube. That is my. I don't really watch TV. I watch YouTube.
Same.
And old matches, I still love. And even now, I'm really into watching like independents that I've never heard of, and just watching their people. And just unfortunately, as a wrestler, you're going to critique it regardless.
Right.
But just up and comers, I like watching their stuff. Yeah, so I mean, I do watch WWE. I really don't watch AEW. I watch the NWA just because Brandon will shoot me a message and say, "Hey, I'm on tonight. I'm in a tag match. OVW." He'll shoot me a text saying, "Hey, we're the champions. Watch this next show." They'll show it. So I do watch a lot of wrestling still. Not really AEW, but I was talking to Jason Stagg the other day, and I think it was actually on your post, Zmiz, or his post, one of the two. And you guys were asking, what do you think of the wrestling shows out there, or what's your favorite promotion and why, or something? I can't remember what your exact question was.
I know which one you're talking about. I do.
But there's right now there's a product for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you like the extreme stuff, YouTube, you can find it. If you like old school, YouTube, you can find it. If you want current product, same thing. So right now, wrestling is so big again because I think we're in a big pocket right now, and I think there's something for everyone. So regardless what you like,
That's the funny part because I physically don't watch anything else for the most part. I still watch animes and cartoons with my kids because I'm a big kid at heart, and I like to do that with them and showing them old cartoons of ours from older days and stuff. Voltron Kid for life. So that's one of my favorite things. But then wrestling is pretty much all I watch. And on my YouTube page, I have like Rev Pro, PCW from Pennsylvania. There's so many promotions out there and things going on and little things that I like. I've gotten big into Dog Pound, right? Jazz and
Oh yeah.
their
Out in
stuff is doing.
Texas.
Yeah, their stuff is awesome, especially since they've joined with the NWA and become part of like a little territory group with them. I love to see the rebirth of territory. That, like, on one side of the coin, you got AEW in New Japan, all those guys that are old pieces of what once was how the system worked. But then you have this rebirth of. I really truly see territories coming back to a degree in some sense with some things. Okay, not saying it's fully coming back, but I see it in a way. But having the ability to watch all those things, and then some of the guys, Exodus and just went to Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling over there in Colorado, and getting to watch some of that stuff. It fuels the fire for the younger generation now to really keep pushing that envelope and going. There's another stepping stone. There's another way out there, and it's the dots are getting connected now in a bigger form and fashion. And I take a love and passion for that.
Well, I would love for that to happen. And Larry used to tell me, and I know he used to tell a lot of us that started when the territories kind of already fell apart. Because he used to tell me, and I know he's told some other people, if I would have just found you 3 or 4 years earlier, you could have toured the world. But working off of what Herb said about egos, I think that's what's going to stop it from actually working. And let me just use an example. Right now, WWE is working with TNA. And yes, it did get a pop for Joe Henry to come in and wrestle. But literally, you had their champion beat in less than 2 minutes. So, yeah, you got the TNA brand on another person's promotion, but you just made your champion lose. So, I mean, I don't know how good of a pop or a push that was for TNA, because it's a step up, but also a knock down the ladder. I mean, Herb, what do you think about the territories? Because I know you have an opinion. Because you tried to do the territories kind of over here, and it worked to some degree, but we didn't really get the push that we wanted.
Well, and I think the example you're using there, TNA, I think that's a desperate move on their part. That just goes to show you that there's nothing they won't try, even though it costs them. And it's kind of like they're all in competition with one another, and regardless of how they want to say it, what we tried doing here locally is the idea of it was to get the workers more work. And we still do that to a degree with ACW, where Rick works at, and Searcher, and Scotty Z and I was working together for quite some time. So I mean, we're going up to Iowa. So I mean, there are promotions out there that want to share that same concept, but it's not only is it the egos of the some of the workers, it's the egos of the promoters, and that's why I'm very selective on the promoters that I will work with. If I think they're going to use and abuse my talent, that's not going to happen. We got to come to a happy understanding. That's why the promoters, Shane over at Midwest Wrestling Coalition, him and I talk. We don't get into a bidding war. We don't try to snatch talent away from one another. And I think in order for territories to work, that's what made them so successful back in the day. You had a group of individuals that could sit around the table and say, this is what's best for the business. And then when they did have that dispute, that's when you had a Sam Muchnick that sit there and controlled that NWA title and said, okay, enough is enough. We're going to cut this pie up equally, and whatever's left over, we're going to cut it up equally. And that's what made him so successful for more than 41 years as that president. And people will tell you that's still around these days that worked underneath him. St. Louis wasn't of a wrestling for nothing. And I know other towns says, oh, we were, but the proof is in the pudding, as my grandmother used to say. And, he was selling out Kiel Auditorium before Vince McMahon ever thought about what a sellout was. So, I mean, territories will work to a certain degree if, one, the promoters will get their head out of their butts, like I said, and understand this is what's better for the talent. And what's better for the talent in return turns out better for the fans. And without the fans, you guys are just wrestling for yourself,
Yeah, facts.
Zmiz, what do
Yes,
you
sir.
think about Joe Henry losing so quickly? Do you think it was a plus or a negative? Or
I'm indifferent to an extent on it. As an avid TNA fan and been a fan of theirs since the inception of the company, and really ultimately when I became a fan of the company was when R-Truth was Ron Killings down there and become the NWA champion. So Ron is the staple of when I started watching TNA. And I stayed all the way through it when TNA started to actually become a competitor, quote unquote. My buddy and I were back like old school days. I remember doing it when I was a kid. WCW on one, Raw on the other one, and it felt like that. So for me, I want to say yes, I agree with you. It was damaging to a cause, but look how much TNA has gone through and overcome, and the adversity that company has built itself off of. Being that, I would say in some case, TNA was that last quote unquote indie company to like F it to the man kind of thing. It doesn't affect me as much as it would affect other people on it, because I believe thoroughly the only way to make WrestleMania bigger is to have the other companies up there in some form or fashion. You can no longer take WrestleMania under the WWE umbrella to more heights unless you add more celebrities in, but none of us want to see that. I mean, you get more people on there, but how do you bring more of the wrestling fan back? You add the other companies. What everybody used to do and hide in the aisle reading a magazine or going to Family Video, Blockbuster to find the next New Japan or whatever pay-per-view it was, because we didn't get it here in the States. We don't have to do that anymore, and there's no need to have that chip on our shoulders that, like, one title's bigger than the other. Like, all of it's big. Everything happens for a reason. Joe Hendry helped put TNA on more eyes. So I see the value in that. And TNA's doing awesome stuff down there by themselves, making it a power company next to NXT. And then the fusion between NXT with Trick Williams now holding their title and giving that, like, okay, a WWE good guy took it. Now who's going to take it back? I'm really excited for that. So yes, where I see that there could be damage there, I think there's a bigger picture that we're all just not wanting to see, because maybe egos are still getting in the way and not wanting to see there could be more.
I just think, when someone says, "Oh, it takes a Joe Henry to get on WWE for people to know about TNA," I think if you're a wrestling fan, you already know about TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how people can say that they only know WWE. No, if you know WWE, you know about AEW. You know about the NWA. So I don't. I don't.
People who say that only watch WWE and refuse to watch anything else.
Well, you're going to have those people too. You're going to have those people that are still like, oh, no, I'm a diehard this or this, and you're going to have that. And then we all be like, oh, it's the toxic fan. Yeah, but
sorry.
Okay, I'm going to say it. Okay, RCW, when I was down there, Wicked said something to me when I was doing commentary and stuff about being a non-biased person or viewing at it non-biasly. And I think I've just gotten so at that where I don't see the negatives on both. I really just want to see the glass half full on it. So I'm going to prop both sides up in different ways, because I think we all have too much ego. All of us, period. Anyone. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. It doesn't matter. There's too much ego. There's too much disdain for certain issues. Yes, we can all get along for a certain point of time, but then behind closed doors, we're all talking trash about each other. Like, that's going to happen. I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm not going to be a part of that world on it. I want to see a new light of new loving moment of it, and looking at it in a way where it was damaging to them, but yet they're there. Now, I remember being the kid that was flipping through channels. I come across ROH, didn't even know ROH exists, right? And that's how I got hooked on that. So I was a WCW, WWE, ECW kid, diehard. Outside of that world, there was nothing else. There was no other promotion. Like, it didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. But then I was like flipping through. There's ROH, and then I happened to be at my aunt's house, and there's TNA. So then I got more collected, so that more of that gathering of information to where I'm like, oh wait, shit, there's like a minor leagues, a major, that's how I view it now. I truly see it like everybody watches baseball from the high school times all the way up. You follow somebody like that all the way to the major leagues, maybe, right?
Right.
So why can't we do it now in wrestling? Why can't that be a thing? Why is everybody trying to fight that? Like, we have that opportunity to share this platter. And yes, I do think some titles are more major than others. And there's reasons people don't lose those matches. I 100% understand that, get that, feel it. But at the same time, it's Randy fucking Orton he lost to. Why are you mad? It's Randy fucking Orton. His legacy alone stands on his own. Not to mention his dad, his granddad, his uncle, all that stuff. And if we keep all the dots connected, that made that 2 minutes mean so much more, because Joe Hendry's a Joe Schmo from the UK that didn't mean shit, that figured out he could make his own music tone. He's the creative superstar we all wish we were. And he made it in a company called TNA, got to the main event, which was the big times, as everybody says, and got smashed by one of the largest dudes that tore dudes. He had a lifetime of kicking dudes' heads off. The boss himself. Why am I going to be mad that man beat that man?
I agree. It's totally great for Joe Henry, but I think it's a blemish on TNA. But total props to Joe Henry, because he got to what everyone calls the big show. Yes,
and damn near had the pop of the night.
Yeah, I probably bet he did have the pop of the night.
I really hope he's
Joe
the one that
Henry.
takes
He's
the
a
belt
nice
back
guy.
off Trick. Like, I hope he's the one that takes the belt off Trick, so like kind of reestablishes. Like, and then I still wanted TNA to be the first one to take a title from WWE, but that's beside the point. Like, if you're going to make that storyline happen, it should have been that way, in my opinion, to keep that company strong, like you're saying. But that's not how it happened. That's not the way we went with it. I might not enjoy it 100%. It might not be to my taste 100%. But in my eyes, there's no right or wrong in some sense.
Yep. Again, there's wrestling for everyone right now.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what's great about it. It just takes a click of a YouTube or the internet now, and you can see what you want. And I just wanted to know your opinion on it, because that was the topic of one of our podcasts. Like, did it hurt? Was it great? What your thoughts? So.
Yeah, I mean, it all varies too. Was it great for a pop for everybody around the wrestling world? Yeah, that was great. It was cool to get the TNA World Title out there. Was I a fan of him losing so quick? No, I wasn't. But I thought maybe the contest could have been a little bit more
competitive.
A little bit more competitive, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it should have went there, but you also got to look at what the product is and what WWE represents.
No, what you got to look at right here is that was history making, though.
I mean, I think it's going to be something we talk about in the future. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, it was a champion from another promotion appearing on the biggest card of the year, WrestleMania. You never saw that.
Well,
Only
they
they were in the agreement with NWA at the time, but not even like this, though. Not even like this.
Well, even when they brought the NWA in, they made them guys lose pretty damn quick too.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to continue to see what happens. I don't want to be one of those people that are just going to be quick to the trigger to see if it destroys the other place or it really hurts it. I truly believe this partnership is better than the last one, and that's my personal opinion. So, if that says anything, I think that speaks more volume to most in all sense. But I like the new change. I like the aspect of we're getting something totally different. And I also don't think the realm of possibility of other big promotions working with WWE is out of the question. I truly don't. See, now we're getting behind the door policy, like what I'm thinking and how I truly believe about it. There's no way in hell Cody Rhodes is going back to what he felt WWE was when he left. And the reason he left, one, to not get nothing for himself, and two, if there's anything that we've listened to that man talk about, he's trying to carry a weight of a industry that once got lost. And I truly think that's what's happening and what we're going about to see. I think there's bigger games are being played and certain things are going to happen that's going to blow people's minds off in professional wrestling at the top of the mountain. Why, at the same time, we see at the local standard the elevation of talent and the ability for talent to get information, to help grow, to find the right connections, the right hands to shake, all that stuff is just growing at the same time. I truly believe that. I feel it. It feels it in my heart. This is the drug that I cannot stop taking, and I want to see it go that path. So if I have to be the martyr to it, let's go do it.
Hey, places like we're doing for Waterloo, Iowa, coming up next month. The who's who of trainers is going to be at that Hall of Fame weekend as well. Tom Pritchard's going to be there.
Nice.
He's trained so many legends.
Man.
And they hold a training class that weekend. I can't think of all the other trainers, but who was WCW? He was in the.
You're not thinking of Power Plant, are you?
Well, No Laughing Matter. He was,
oh, you're talking about Bill DeMott or Hugh Morris?
Bill DeMott. He's going to be there. He's going to be one of the trainers there this year.
Yeah. Malenko will be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Malenko.
Plus, you got all the legends from just about everywhere. JBL is going to be there. Gerald Briscoe is going to be there. And talking about shaking hands and making connections. Of course, Herb's bringing SICW there. Of course, we're using some of the local established wrestlers from that area as well. So it's times like this to be a wrestler so you can make those connections. The next one is CAC, and Ruby's been to there. And there's so many people to meet there and make those connections to. There's so many places and so many territories. It used to be you had to work everywhere because you never knew who was going to be in the audience on a particular night.
Was Ruby at CAC?
Yeah. You probably don't remember that because you tipped the back quite a few that particular week.
Not so many.
Say it ain't so.
I remember the walks in the heat. That's what I remember. That's what I remember.
Hey, speaking of that particular week last year, how cool was it? Me, you, and Bobby D hanging out when Haku was a better person. I'll just say, since he kind of flipped heel last year. But we went out to breakfast with Haku. And he was telling stories. And then all four of us sat at the bar and drank one night. And just listen to that man. I would have never thought if I didn't hear the stories from his peers about saying how he was such a indestructible, breaking the handcuffs, fighting 6 officers off at one time, pulling eyeballs out. I would have never put the 2 to 2 together if I met the guy today.
Right.
He's the nicest, give you his shirt off of his back type of person. And if I didn't know better, I wouldn't say your guys are lying, because there's no way this guy can just walk up to me and pop my eyeball out because he is so nice, but nowadays you pretty much know and they put it out on the internet. Hey, whoever's working this show, this particular person is going to be there. So bring your A game, or you can almost go to these places knowing that you're going to be looked at, and that's what's really good too, because the lady you had on, she's only been around for just over a year, and she's held the championship for 4 months. She said, so 8 months technically put her into the women's championship material. So it's crazy how quickly people can go nowadays. And Brandon Beretta, if you look at him, he's probably 2.5 years,
something like that.
About close to 3, I think. But
so I mean, in 3 years, I was still just working the local area. So branching out when I could. So things can move a lot quicker for people, especially with the helps of social media. Jumping on a podcast like yours or mine, or even creating your own YouTube channel. There's a Canadian guy that Herb brought in a couple times, and he shouted me out in one of his videos, and then he sent it to me. Well, now I'm a fan of his YouTube channel, because now I want to see where he goes from places to places. And he said he's only got a couple more years left in him, so I'm watching to see where he goes. So it's the internet and YouTube and even TikTok and all that stuff is just going to help young wrestlers out. They just got to take advantage of it. Some people aren't taking advantage of it.
Well, I think you and I've talked about that, Jim. It's like the fan fest. What a captive audience for young talent to come and be part of. And you can count on one hand the young talent that takes advantage of those type of things. And I think they're just missing the boat there on coming and networking and being a part of something like that. Because believe it or not, that's where you get spotted. That's where you talk to people, and that's where you make those connections at.
I mean, for me, a guy that got in the business in 2018, and I never wanted to be a wrestler. So that was never in my wheelhouse, never what I was thinking of. I was never wanting to be the guy. I really like the guys that were the sugar on top, the Bobby the Brain Heenans, the Gorilla Monsoon. Even though Gorilla Monsoon had a great wrestling career, so did Bobby, actually, even with things that he did previous before going to commentary. But those guys on commentary and the managers, all that kind of stuff, that's where my passion with the business was the guys that just put the little sugar, the little extra topping there. So with Ruby pulling me in and bringing me onto this really is giving me my stance and being that mentor to help me learn to find my voice in this business and find that grounding to where I could hopefully speak better or be more fluid, or maybe get somebody over the right way kind of thing. That's another thing Wicked taught me and pointed out, that on how to get somebody over and be more excited, bring the voice up a little bit or drop the voice down to this when something, those little key moments I would never have gotten if I didn't take these opportunities to come here every weekend and do this with Ruby and GQ, and then bringing on a friend of mine on accident. Basically, wasn't even meant to be with the group 100%. It's a wonder. But then getting to work with you guys, getting to meet Mac Davis, Teddy Long, two guys that Mac's become kind of a mentor to me, and Teddy's always been that was one of my favorite managers. And the stuff that he did with the WWE in the SmackDown GM mode, that stuff was cool. And then going back and watching his ref stuff and then his managing stuff, so I'm glad that I've gotten the right people and got to join in at the right times for things, and hopefully I can keep doing it. That's the point.
You know why I knew Bobby Heenan was going to be a great one?
Why is that?
Oh.
Because he was the only manager that Sam ever allowed in St. Louis.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's cool. But no, that's the point. I'm the Gym City Mouse. Static. Come on, I talk all the time. Leave me alone.
When I say St. Louis, I mean working for him. He was the only manager that Sam had.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That is pretty awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
I mean, even GQ's been a mentor to me in some sense with those kind of ideas and things. So,
oh yeah,
Glad he's not on here to hear that though.
right?
Well,
Let's not stroke his back too much.
And Z, if you ever get the opportunity to get down in our area, what I would like to do is let you and Dr. Drew sit and do some commentary.
It's in the works, man. I plan on. We need to have a conversation sometime. I still have things in my heart that I don't want to leave, and I hope I can do the both.
You can do the both. Yeah, you can. It's just simple. I mean, all you got to do is know the right people. And but yeah, Dr. Drew sits underneath the learning tree of Larry Matusek and does an outstanding job. And he just needs. He's the type of guy you just got to give him the go ahead, and he'll take it and run like you do, and that's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
He followed his dream, and he'll tell you he still has my card from my mayor's card in his wallet from 14 years ago when I first met him. And if you ever run into him, ask him to see that card, and he'll pull his wallet out, and it's getting kind of crumbly, but we were at South Broadway Athletic Club, and where I first met him and his friend Gary, and he still carries it in his wallet to this day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He's just like us, man. I say he's a local historian because in a researcher, he'll research wrestling, and he just like Larry used to do.
I can't get away from it. I don't want to get away from it, but like it'll never get away from me. All of my friends still this day are like, "How do you watch it still?" I'm like, "Dude, there's nothing better on TV." I mean, everything you want, from the show that is politics to the show that is a cooking. I mean, everything's there. Anything you want, Real Housewives, it's there somewhere. Like, there's someone that did some type of form or fashion to something in any promotion. I mean, we still talk now about how Lucha Underground kind of changed how people did vignettes and stuff, because they were doing stuff that was way different than what we saw in WWE or any local indie promotion at that time. They were really changing the game because they were bringing it more cinematic with the soap opera-ish stuff, and that was beautiful. It was really cool. It opened the door for Matt Hardy. Let's give him some props real quick with the broken stuff, and changing how you bring a character to the forefront, because then fast forward, Undertaker then uses it for WrestleMania, and we have one of the greatest, coolest matches in something that was arguably one of the worst time and eras of professional wrestling. So that's what I love about wrestling, is connecting the dots and seeing how little things can help the big thing, and the big things can still help the little things, and that growth all around.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what. Such a great conversations we've had, as far as this is what we do, this is what we love to do, is talking about the business and different aspects of the business. And of course, coming together here. Like I said, Z, now you've got the invitation for Alan Williams. You're going to be, I would definitely advise you to go do that too, because you can only go so far in some area, but you can expand and learn off somebody else. And
Well, and again, I'm not saying to do that because I want you to leave it. I'm saying that, we sit around here and we talk shit about groups ought to work together and all of this. What better way than you coming and sitting side by side with Dr. Drew?
I said it to you at FanFest too, Herb. You asked me what did I want out of coming to the FanFest and coming to your side to talk to you, and I said I wanted to be the bridge to help other guys find the way up.
Sure. And again, and I think what we did, GQ, like I said, we talked at the beginning about the Hall of Fame. There were guys there that were talking. They left their egos outside. They come up, we talked. Everybody laughed and joked. I mean, I was there because I was asked to induct Ed Smith, my good friend, into the Hall of Fame, and his family is the one who asked me to do it. They said they thought I was the most knowledgeable person on their father, and I appreciated that. And the Smiths family's been part of the Simmons family for many, many years, even though wrestling kind of divided that for a while. But it's things like that that brings it back together. And that's what I said. As long as these barriers keep standing in the way, you got to take that stick of dynamite and get it out of the way. And that would be, and I'm not saying a full time thing. I'm just saying I know you live up in the Quincy area, but if you can ever plan it out, we'll give you our dates. And if you call me the week before and say, "Hey, I'm coming down. I'm going to spend time with Ruby or whoever," then we'll make it a point, work it in, and I'll kick Lucky P tell him keep his ass at home. And
I love Lucky P.
Lucky's great. It's on my nerves sometime, but
I can see that.
Yeah, but I know he gets on Drew's nerves. That's why I'm trying to give Drew a break and get him some fresh meat. So,
I really enjoy listening to Drew. So I've been doing diligence to watch the product and listen, because that's what I do. I listen to the little things. I mean, there's all the time I'm sending Ruby messages. I'm like, did you hear what Michael Cole said? Or did you hear what this person said? Or did
and what you know, and I know most of you should know, and if you don't, it's okay. But doing TV, whether it's on YouTube or whatever platform it's on, it's different than just a house show. When you're doing TV, and then when you do as we do, when we tape 4, and Ruby, you've been there, and Texan, when you tape 4 shows on a Sunday afternoon, and you're building that storyline up, the commentators make that house show. Along with the workers, because Drew has to sit there and remember, okay, what happened 2-3 weeks ago? And it just flows so smoothly off of him, just like with Larry. He could tell, like when he was talking tonight about Dusty Rhodes and Dick Bruiser was teaming up, that was a setup for a house show at Kiel Auditorium 2-3 weeks down the road. And so you guys, that's how commentators are so important, It can't always be about them. It's got to be about that action in the ring and then about 100%. That house show.
100%.
As Sam used to say, the TV is a platform for the house show.
Yeah, exactly. A good build to have. So, speaking of which, your next event is what, July 12th, right? And
July
that 12th? Is at the Collinsville, the Fireman's Hall, right?
Yep, the fairgrounds is still under construction. I was actually in there last week, and it's coming along quite well now. And so we're still with a day, maybe hopefully September, October, unless the contractors get some problems. But I'm looking forward to that. But the Fireman's Hall has been great. They've been great to work with. It's a great location right off the interstate. I'm still scratching my head on last month. We had Tommy Wildfire Rich in, which, former NWA champion, but the crowd was a good crowd. And but sitting there with him at the autograph table, it wasn't like we were overly crowded. So it wasn't that a lot of people rushed there to get his autograph from Tommy Wildfire Rich. I just think that people's watching the TV show. They're out seeing the posters that the guys are putting out, old school style. Jim goes out and puts out the posters with all the time, and or maybe it was just everybody was sitting home and said, "Hey, let's go watch wrestling tonight." I hope they do it again on July 12th.
Oh wow, yeah.
We're there until July 12th, TV the 13th, and then July 19th we go. I'm actually in Iowa the 17th, 18th, and 19th. The big wrestling shows on July 19th, and then we get back August 2nd in Collinsville, and then we are jam packed, aren't we, Jim? About for the rest of the month. I mean,
oh yeah.
I just added this. Soho Apartments in the Soulard area. We just added that one. I haven't even posted it yet.
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah, right at poolside. That's probably a cool. That's a cool show. I mean, a couple of guys was in the pool the last 2 years there, but so they just Friday, and we got that one. But then we go to Vegas for the Cauliflower Alley. I'm being honored out there this year, and along with. Abdullah the Butcher and some other great honorees are going to be there, and so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Absolutely. Um, so yeah, it's a great deal. But definitely, uh, follow. I mean, as I do every time when we talk about a show with you or anything about information of what you have going on, everybody should go to sicw.org, and that's where they find everything as far as with your events coming up and how they can get access to your events as far as tickets, reservations, whatever the case may be. And of course, do you have something on the website in regards to information about the Cauliflower Alley Club?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know if they've updated it yet or not. I
And I'll
follow
be
my.
honest, I haven't hit the website in like 3 weeks, so
I haven't. Yeah, I've been extremely busy, and as Jim will tell you. But if not, the best way is just follow me. I mean, we post everything, and I on my page, and I can give them the up to date information, or reach out to Texan, and
Or even the CAC's on Facebook too,
Mhm.
so you can search that out and give them a follow because they're giving updates and talking about who is coming in, who's being honored this year. Natalie Neidhart is being honored with the Lou Thez Award this year. So she's going to come in. Mick Foley's being honored. And what's really cool about it, Mick Foley, does from time to time, he does like a one man show,
Oh, it's
like
amazing.
stand up.
Oh,
And
it's amazing.
yeah, and so he's doing that this year, one of the nights. So, I mean,
well,
it's a
they're
blast.
actually roasting him the one
They're
night.
roasting him too. Frank
Yeah.
Murphy just said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, besides all the distraction that Vegas is, it's a full 4 days of wrestling and talking wrestling and meeting your idols. That's one thing we should have told that young lady that was on here before. You talked about making sure that you know who you wrestled, when you wrestled, and take those pictures. But if there's legends on your show, talk to them. Get to know them, ask them the questions because they've been there. And I think me and Herb's had this conversation when I first started. Sometimes you're a little timid about walking up to a legend. Besides just shaking their hand and say nice to meet you. I remember sitting at the round table in our old locker room when the likes of the $1 Million Man was there, and no one was in that room. There was a room with inside a room, so you had the locker room and then a smaller room where all the details are etched. But he was in there all by himself, and I just sat down and I said, I just finished your autobiography like a month ago. I have questions about it. And so I just started, firing some questions at him. And he took his time to tell me all the answers I wanted to know. Same thing happened with Harley Race. I sat down with him and, by the time we ended our conversation, the room was full of all the wrestlers because they wanted to hear what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And
What about the Ricky Steamboat night?
Oh, I mean, Ricky, to have a guy who put matches together for the WWE, and everyone knows him and Macho Man, WrestleMania 3 stole the show. And I say that to the day I'll die, that they stole the show from Hulk Hogan. Um, he took the time, he watched the time we had him in. I didn't ask him. He took the time to watch my whole match. And when I came back there, he pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, I have some ideas for you." And it wasn't like you sucked, you did this wrong. No, he goes, "I have some ideas for you to get you better." And to have someone like of his statue coming in and he had his own spot in the show. He could have just waited until he had to come out, and do his thing. But he was watching the other guys' matches and telling us all little hints and tricks and stuff like that to do. So I mean, at the beginning of my career, I could say I was probably the timid guy that would just come up and do respect, shake their hand, thank them for being there. But man, you should, hands down, take your pictures with your legends that come in there, talk to them, ask them for advice, do everything. Again, it's not just for you, but it's also for them. We don't know how much longer we have some of these legends around, and that's why I give props to Herb for bringing in the legends on the Fan Fest. Because like this year, I was really looking forward to meeting Sabu. I met Sabu before, but I never had
Yeah.
that picture opportunity with Sabu. And so I bought a wrestling figure. I wanted him to sign it. I wanted to get that picture. And then 2 weeks before we had the Fan Fest, he passed away.
Well, I remember that night, one night we had Ricky Steamboat in, and he was doing the referee for us at the firehouse. And, he had a simple job, but he actually took and turned it into more of a dynamite show. And I'll never forget, I was sitting at ringside at the table, and when he went to climb up the top rope to do that move he always was known for, then come across on Travis Cook. As he stepped out on the ring apron, he looked down at me and he said, "I haven't done this move in 8 years. You owe me." And I didn't know he was going to do that. And he went up on that top rope and came off on a flying crossbody on Travis. And so that's the kind of guy he was. And then I couldn't understand where all the guys was. Normally, they get paid and they leave. And they'll come up and always thank you, and nobody's coming out of the dressing room. And I go in there and it was like they were around a campfire. Ricky was sitting in the middle of the room in a chair, and they were all around him. Some of them had paper and pens out, and they were taking notes. It was like they were in school, And I thought, this is really cool. These guys are really learning, and that's why I always tell them when I bring these legends in, if you're not picking their brains, shame on you, because it's a free lesson of more business.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tex, that's what I told her right before she went off. I was like, don't be afraid to ask questions. Because almost every week when we worked at the Coliseum, Tracy Smothers or Dirty Dutch was there, and they would sit in the back. You could sit there and ask them questions, and they would sit there. They wouldn't try to push you away, say, go away. They'd sit there for as long as you needed them.
Yeah. And I've only ran into one time where they brought in, and he wasn't a legend at the time, but he had just got let go from WWE. I won't say his name just because maybe, again, sometimes they're just having a bad night. But out of my 25-year career, there was only one time I had a bad experience with a legend, you might say. Like I said, you never know. They could have had a really shitty day that day, and they didn't, want to be around people, But, other than that, man, like I said, meet them, bend their ear, like Herb said, take your pictures, because you never know. They might just give you that one tidbit of information to make your matches a 10 instead of a 5. And then you have a souvenir for your wrestling career. I met Ricky Steamboat. He helped me with my match. And now I can consider myself a better man for it, it just, everyone passes away. Unfortunately, we're not all here forever. So definitely go out and, meet these guys, pick their brains, and get all the information you can out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I did post the link on here for SICW's upcoming events, and man, you guys got quite a list of events coming up. Where with everything, after the your house show on the Saturday the 12th, you're going to Waterloo on the following week. You're back, yeah. So you guys got quite a full. You guys got a full list of upcoming events. So go and check them out at sacw.org. And there's an upcoming events tab up there if you want to go and check out a show. So, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Me and the crew is going to close out our last portion of the show.
Sure.
But guys, man, I really appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I wanted to thank you, Herb, especially for us getting the opportunity to be part of the 3 SACW Fan Fest that have already happened, and Everybody seems to people are pushing it. Yeah, look at this. I can't even
Z,
get by.
Austin, come on, put him up, put him up, put him up.
You know what's funny about that is I sent her. It was shortly after FanFest 3, I think, probably like a month later. I sent him a thing like, "Hey, maybe we should do this and this," and he's like, "Okay, I'll send that to the next idiot that decides to do another one."
Right. Right.
Well, I think Jim said it best when he first started. I mean, and those who don't or haven't ever taken on a chore like that really doesn't have any idea how much it takes to do it. You know, making the connections, making sure the guys get in, and
make sure the guys show up.
This one was,
Shut up.
This one was a little bit easier because the first one was everybody was skeptical of because there had never been one like that done here to that magnitude. 60 some legends, and but it's still a chore. But there will be somebody. It's like I tell Jim when I leave this great earth. He's got to make sure my wife don't have that big bonfire she keeps threatening to have. So,
Jim, you holler at me, brother, and I'll be in there right with you. Let's save it all. I will.
I've probably only seen an eighth of his collection, and there ain't no way I'm going to let any of that collection go down.
Yeah, no. We could not.
No.
Jim has seen my garage.
Yeah, I mean, he's got title belts. He's got people's wardrobes. He's got everything, videotapes and programs. He's our Jim Cornette.
I actually had a message from a guy in Japan tonight. That Rock Riddle, remember Rock Riddle?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, we had him.
I had helped him with a deal. He had 500 VHS tapes that he had inherited from a client of his, and I now have them, and I'm in the process of trying to slowly get them transcribed over. But the guy from Rock Riddle told the guy that I ended up with him, and he texted me tonight wanting to know if I wanted to get rid of him, and I said no. I don't get rid of stuff. Maybe I should because my wife, like I said.
I was going to say, the boss is over there staring at him like, you better be starting to get rid of that stuff.
Hey, I have two VHS players.
Some other hairy leg end up with him, So.
Hey, R&L Carriers is just right in Sauget. We can just get one of those 53-foot straight trucks and just back in and just haul everything off. We'll put it somewhere.
Well, guys, I'm going to get off here. I got a busy day tomorrow. And once again, congratulations. 200 episodes, and I know when you guys started, you had no idea you would get this far. But it's guys like you that die-hard fans and my friends, and I just wish you the continued success because you focus a lot on the local stuff like Jim and his Bobby D and them guys do, and that's what we need. We need more of that. But really, continue putting them out there, and I'll listen to as many of them as I can.
We appreciate it, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Take care, Jim. See you tomorrow.
All right.
Yep. Have a good night.
Guys, thank you very much for showing up, and we'll chat at you soon.
Hey, before I go, Zmiz.
Yes, sir.
Did you go around collecting them? Did you see them in your area yet?
No, this area sucks. So, I have to travel usually. No, we can pick through, dude.
Illinois does not have them out yet. I had to go to St. Louis, and I couldn't even find the Chase. I couldn't tell you how many Walmarts we went to today.
See, if I see any of them, I'll let you know.
Well, okay, time out, though. My wife has given... I have to live in a certain realm of, respect for the wife. I can only get, Leets and Ultimates. Or she's like, you cannot... I have a few of the other ones because I had to get a Ted DiBiase up here.
Yeah.
Since Ted's one of my all-time favorite mouthpieces in the industry. Plus, he's an amazing wrestler and competitor. But and he had my favorite title made. So
I got the Ricky the Dragon one too.
That one kind
of Ricky today.
I am looking. Hey, I am looking for the Kane one.
So the that one I probably would get is the Ricky. Mainly because Austin and I have an amazing story of Ricky back when we went to a Glory Pro show and we were being a nuisance fan group. And Ricky pointed us out specifically and said, "Those guys are real fans. Y'all need to step it up." Will always hold a place in my heart.
Definitely. All right, guys. Yeah, I'll let you guys go. But yeah, congratulations. 200 episodes. I know what kind of hard work that is, and I'm not even to your point yet. So congratulations, and hopefully another 200 to go, right? That's what they always say, right?
Yeah. You and Bobby keep doing awesome down there, too, with your guys'.
Yeah, with the
Squared Ring
Podcast.
Yeah, Squared Ring Podcast, Nate Dogg, Bobby D, and myself. And thank you, man, for having me on. I know I'm on at least once a year, so I appreciate that. And continue your success.
You're actually on every 100th episode now, so.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on way more than that.
Yeah, way more. If I'm not here in person, I'm in that chat stirring some shit.
Yep.
All right, guys. You have a good night, man.
Yep, you too, sir.
Yep, have a good night.
You too, man. Oh, man. So
that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has
probably the shortest show we've ever had Herb on, though. So.
Well, I mean, at least he had a busy day tomorrow, so that's.
I'm kind of watching, Texan have the camera face the ceiling right now because he's not able to turn it on.
Get me out of here.
Right, you're good.
Love you.
Oh man, so yeah.
I will agree with the new format that we were using here with this service and everything. I do love being able to see the green room and everything as it is.
Oh yeah, well at least you get the chance to view it. So
Evie Mux has definitely been a great partnership since joining them, in my opinion.
What did we use beforehand, Ruby? What was the early stuff? It wasn't.
Let's do a quick history, right? Let's do a quick history of that. So when me and GQ first started this off with episode 1, which we had Joker as our special guest, and we were, good Lord, if I could pull up clips from that, God, there's so much rust on that and rust on how I was trying to get out of an intro. Oh my God, because it was like a quick idea to put together, and I didn't really. I'm like, oh God, am I really on? Am I really on? Because we were going through Minicam, remember?
Oh, okay, yeah,
yeah, and I had to send you like a permission link to be added to my feed to try to get you on, and then we had so many problems with that, and we're like, man, we got to do something. And so
it was through the geek side of me, which we won't say where, that we originally had StreamYard.
Right, and we went through StreamYard for a good while.
The geek site. So did you work at Geek Squad or something?
Oh well.
No, let's just say
it was a Star Wars fan club that he was part of.
Hey, my first F-bomb ever on the show. Screw you that you know better than that shit.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of F-bombs, Ruby, speaking of F-bombs, Zach said the F word before I did earlier.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah. He did.
So, ha.
Oh, my
God. But once again, we were talking about Randy fucking Orton. Like, get over it.
But you know what? Hey, nobody's ever going to beat the record that we have by Bill Alfonso, though. So
yeah.
I don't know. Ava got close, bro. Oh, Miss Ava. It was good to see her. She dipped out. She had her time.
I think she said it as she was dipping. I was like, he's like, man, I can't. It's like, man, he's going to go.
It went wild.
On the East Coast.
Yeah, but no. We went StreamYard, then we tried out Restream for a while, and then the only reason I didn't like Restream because I couldn't get more than like 720p in resolution, unless if I paid like a god awful amount of money, like a professional, just to even get the 1080. I'm like, well, F to the U, and I found EVMux, so, this is, and trust me, I've had a lot more better luck with EVMux because we're coming in at least at 1080p and we're looking good and sharp and looking excellent.
Zmiz, when did you get in?
So I came into Falls Count Everywhere on a special occasion They asked me to work in. It was one of the Hall of Fame ones. I think it was for the St. Louis Independent Hall of Fame, correct? Or no, it was for
the Midwest Independent
Midwest.
Wrestling.
It was
Hall
the
of
Midwest,
Fame.
yeah.
Because
And
somebody didn't want to like interview himself on his own show.
He was going in, so he's like, I can't be the host. So GQ took over host material. I came in a second kind of thing. And then I had the infamous Ron Powers telling me to run, and it has stuck with me ever since. And finally, at FanFest 3, I got to shake his hand and meet him face to face and go, hey, I'm the Zmiz. I'm the one you told to run on False Count Everywhere. And I want to thank you because it has made it's one of my driving forces. It really is. Like I hear it every time I go, or let's say something bad goes wrong. And I'm like, shit, I'm not making it where I want to go. I'm not doing what I want to do as that young talent, right? And I want to leave. I hear Ron Powers go, you should have run. And I'm like, no, fuck you. Like, I want to stay. And it's been kind of one of those things that has kept me motivated, actually. And I thanked him for it because it's been a great thing. One little thing.
Yeah. And then, so Zeke came on, I think it was like episode like 41 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And so
I was
not going to interview myself because people would think I'm skittish and asking my own questions. So I'm not doing that.
I'm kind of pissed that didn't happen now. But I used my TV as my backdrop for the longest time and had independent wrestling going on it the whole time.
That was a great shot, man. That was awesome.
From different promotions. Like I would just... whatever I was feeling that night. So like one night I had Glory Pro running. I had what's that promotion that Rohit does up in Chicago all the time?
Oh my God.
AC. Yeah. Oh, I can't remember now. But that promotion up there, I had that run, and I had Deep South Pro. I think was on there one time because they had some good stuff.
Yeah, you're just you're putting like YouTube stuff like behind.
Yeah, I was just running the promotions behind me like.
And then there was a couple of times when I had to like take a long extended break away for a little bit, and that's when he took over permanently.
Yeah. GQ has some other obligations, and I needed somebody more solid.
But now we have 4 beautiful faces that get to intertwine because now like my daughter got sick, and I had to skip out on that one. Just recently and stuff, so it's nice that we get this like even flow and we can kind of bounce off. I mean, you're stuck because none of us know how to run the show like you. I can do a little bit.
and then with Austin Cage coming on,
when we took over the channel.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was thanks to the whole WTW takeover that he put his fate. You guys are still not telling me how you got that done. So it's all right.
Tough titties.
And we're trying to get in, and we can't get in the damn door, even in the office and everything, to get onto the damn show. And all the passwords are friggin' changed. And
well, see, Lucky P and Stephen E actually helped me with some of that, and we got information from them.
Travis Cook is a lot better with the password.
I don't know where they got the information from. All I know is they hooked me up with some things, and that's how I was able to lock you guys out. I don't know how they got it. You might want to...
I think they hired the same people that hacked my Facebook account last year, and I almost lost it.
Right.
Bunch of jerks. Let me tell you.
Oh, that was a lot of work on trying to get onto the show that week, though, too, because it's like, shit, we can't get on there.
Well, yeah, we weren't fully aware of how to use this.
Yeah, I know.
Because that was like right at the beginning, the V-Mugs.
It was so frustrating because I had no connection to Facebook or at all, and I'm like, I was down for like what, 3 weeks possibly.
Oh, dude, it was almost a month. I thought.
Oh my god, yeah, it was a month. Yeah,
it was almost a month. I'm not mistaken, bro. Because every time we got on Friday night race night, anytime you texted me, like everything had like right at the end, F Facebook.
Yes.
Like it just became.
And the thing with that is, Facebook thought he was a woman from the Philippines trying to show his tatas, and that's why they
Stop
got
it.
rid of
Stop. You just
it's true.
Just mute you.
Am I wrong?
No, I don't have tatas. I got matas. So,
So what have been some of your guys' favorites since you've been on? Like some of your favorite episodes?
well,
Bill
Go ahead,
Alfonso,
Ruby.
Izzy
well,
Blackwell.
who's in, who first?
I mean, let's go GQ. GQ. Let's go your top 5.
You're telling me 5 now. Bill
Okay,
Alfonso,
top 3. Whatever you did.
Okay, Bill Alfonso was definitely 1. I'm going to put both of them as 1 because he was on twice. Oh. Probably Izzy Blackwell. And one that I know somebody else is using though too, but the Man of the Hour show with Marcus Mansfield.
Ooh,
Yeah.
powerful one. Austin Cage, you go next.
Oh hell. Like I said, I always like talking with Herb, but I mean, everybody knows him like kind of like the Godfather, basically.
Yeah.
And he just loves that. Just so you know, you can call him every time you talk to him. Just call him. He loves it.
He's gonna get a face in a hole with the Godfather on it.
Oh, that's why. Now we know why he wasn't. He was Papa Shango, because he couldn't take Herb's bit.
Oh.
Makes sense now.
That's funny. Who else have we had? Trying to think of his name. We had him on the show, like out at the Fan Fest. Redbeard.
Oh, Glenn.
I think it was his name. Glenn.
Oh, yeah, Glenn.
Glenn was hilarious.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he called us dicks earlier in our promos.
No, he called you guys dicks. Glenn and I get along great.
Yeah.
What? Why me?
I share his stuff all the time. We always talking. We're bouncing back and
Oh,
forth.
yeah.
His shirt is waiting in my closet so the next time I see him, so we can do a nice little shirt swap. Like, so I can get some big nasty merch, and he's gonna get some Zmiz merch. So no, Glenn and I are tight.
I'll tell you, I know me and him are.
Instead of our shirts to him.
I mean, it's Ruby's shirt technically, not mine. Like, I can't give False Count Ever gear away. That I have my own stuff.
It's us.
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to give away our stuff. They have to pay for that. we're on a different level. Like, Glenn and I are friends. See how that works? Glenn's our friend too. But like,
hopefully, we gave you enough time to keep thinking there. So.
Yeah. Glenn even offered. He's like, if you're ever up in this area and you want to tag with me, you're much of a prick as I am, so we'll get along great. I was like,
oh yeah. I would,
tag team.
Not gonna lie, I would love to see you potentially get back in the ring, but we'll have to see.
I'd have to buy all new gear, dude. I probably can't even fit my old shit.
Well, yeah, get new gear.
Yeah.
Plus, he has to ask the other half permission, though. So.
Yeah.
How would your fiance feel about you getting back in the ring?
Honestly, she probably wouldn't care because like shows on the weekend, she's gone anyways because she coaches little girl softball and she's gone all the time, so she probably wouldn't give a shit. She's just like, don't
you get a boo boo, and she's like, I don't want to hear you.
But no, I mean,
so
most
you got
time,
two.
like,
One more.
Well, who else? It's been forever. It was like one of the first times I got to join in. I remember, I think he was out of South Carolina. Oh shit.
South Carolina.
Was it JAC?
That sounds
or,
right.
Yes. There you go. Yes.
I love JAC.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wasn't on, but like I was able to ask a lot of questions, and he had a lot of information and everything. So he was the other one that I liked.
Brewster.
Oh. No, you.
You want me first?
He goes last.
Okay. I'll give Ruby last. Okay. So for me, I'm going to start with my number one, and only reason this one warms my heart is because I got to pick him up from the airport. One of my first things I ever did in the industry for RCW. Alan Williams was the one that said, "You're the one going to go get him," and then I got to hang out with him at the airport. Then he came on the show. He gave us a lovely video package this afternoon. But Ricky Reyes is my number one because watching him and watching his arc through ROH into Lucha Underground, all the stuff he did in AAA, like one of my favorites to wrestle. I enjoy it, and I'm glad that I've built a friendship with him. So he will always be number one for me. Then it comes down to two guys that I've thoroughly or two individuals that I thoroughly have enjoyed watching as a fan, and then having them on the show too makes it even cooler. And that's Brick Savage would be the next one, and the fandom that I've gained from them being here with us when they're here. And then Rohit Raju will be my number 3, because Rohit is the Mocha Manable and, and somebody that I still believe should be under contract right now. And it's a damn travesty that it still hasn't happened, because the man is just that damn good.
Yeah. Yeah.
His number one fan base right here.
Oh,
right here.
Heel section for life.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if there's, I mean, even to somehow get him back on, that would be pretty cool, you know.
Oh, if you get back on, I'm on the show that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
love it. But there's honorable mentions. Ava Brooks is definitely one of my favorites.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
We had Alexandra.
Ari Alexander.
Ari Alexander.
Yeah.
Oh, love her. Amazing young lady.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead now, Ruby. Now you.
Oh man. Well, like I said, I don't know how I can rank these. But definitely my man of the hour, the man of the hour episode with Marcus Mansfield, was one that's very touching. And of course, you know, we got to hear from I don't think he, gotcha. I'm sorry, man. I gotta go back out.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was something important.
Never was back in the day. It ain't now. So.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's kind of touching to me, because he did come on for a little bit, and you know, with him trying to battle with his battle with a form of brain cancer, and then unfortunately, I think we lost him like a month and a half later. And like I said, I just got Marcus Mansfield to me. We share definitely a deep connection within the business, because I was actually at a show before, watching before I decided to get into the business, and I was booing him and getting on him, and he was a great heel at the time, and but you get to know him outside of the ring, he's totally somebody the total opposite. And just probably one of the greatest examples of what a man should be to his family, to his faith, and to lose a friend like that, like I said, he was with me in my first match, my first official match too. So I got a lot of close connections with Marcus Mansfield, and that's why.
What I was happy though with Mark, real quick, was the fact that he got to hear Kane shout him out at the WWE Hall of Fame speech.
Yes.
And it proved that Kane never forgot where he came from, never forgot who his real friends were.
Right.
And how much of a big impact Mark was with him as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah.
Now, please go cheer the rest of the show up right now, Ruby. What's your number 2?
Yeah, right. To me, I was very entertained from, and one of the big famous names that we had on to interview. To me, I loved having Dan the B Severn on.
Oh, that was a good one. Such a good one.
Dan Severn was a really good, excellent episode, and hopefully we'll be talking. He might be around this area maybe before the summer's over. It's just kind of the ideas are floating around out there.
Where?
It's ideas.
It's ideas. It's not confirmed. I can't throw anything out the bag.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Kayfabe, before I start calling you T. Like I said, gosh, if I had to narrow down another one, like I said, another one of my favorites. If I had to put a top one, I would have to put it a collage of all the FanFest shows we did.
Ooh,
because, and especially probably FanFest 3 is going to be my top only because for the whole thing is that we grew in size as a team, and then everybody was there live
Mm-hmm.
doing the show. And to me, that meant something to me, especially with Austin Cage coming down and doing the show with us and getting to meet him in person for the first time and just having a blast, just kicking back and just doing the show. It went with everybody stopping by, especially yes, and even with the time, the spot in the show where Ricky Morton came down and forced me to put on this rock and roll shirt.
Good job, GQ. Good job, GQ.
Look, hey,
You know, I'm not going to tell
that's
Ricky.
where I wanted.
You know,
That's where I felt like I've tried to put my 2 cents in when I ran down there, and he was like just standing there talking. I was like, "Can you come down here and talk for like 2 minutes, please?" Him and Gerald Briscoe, and they actually came down. I was like, "Yes, thank God."
Yeah, dude, I got 3 years in a row. I got to hang out with Gerald Briscoe on the podcast and the Fan Fest. Like, we all got it. It's a great
I would
time.
actually say, though, an honorable mention for me, probably because it was the funniest I think I've ever laughed. Well, it's a tie, actually, because I laughed really hard with two of them. Manny Fernandez.
Oh, man, that was great.
And our most favorite micro wrestler of all time.
See, I want to get another one. Not
Y'all
you-
are not
are you-
going to say his name. I want you to say his name.
you talking about Mad Max?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
But you got to admit how much he had us rolling on that one, too.
I would love
yeah.
to get Psycho on here. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that's the Psycho would be nice to have on here. So I'm going to throw. Yeah, so that's kind of my list here for me. And one other thing here that I'm going to throw around the question to you guys. It's two-parter. Talking about goals, okay? It pertains to the podcast. What do you have any goals that you want for yourself in relation to the podcast, and then also for the podcast in general? I'm actually gonna, Austin Caves was first last time, so I'm gonna throw.
No, I was first last time.
Yeah, GQ was first.
Okay, well then Austin Cage is going first this time.
Yeah, put it on him. I'm gonna
I'd
go
say
happy treated.
goals. I'd say goals is try to like hopefully make it out to more shows that you guys are, what you did at SICW, doing live ones, being able to make it out to more live shows than just that one, and do more podcasts with you guys instead of just online. So more
Yes.
live shows would be a goal for me.
All right, I'll actually will take the second position in this, and I will say, as far as a goal for me, to find a way to gain more followers, or I should say, get more traffic into our show channels, and find a way to promote more. That's mine, and of course, as a whole, for the podcast, just getting the word out with maybe with some newer guests or some guests that haven't been here before, and maybe get some more notable names, some additional notable names that have been in the business, and to kind of get more heads to turn to our brand. Just let us know, and just let them know that we've been around for a while, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So those are kind of mine.
I would have to say that both those answers are the same as mine. Trying to figure out how to get more people, especially locally, to watch the show and everything for one. But definitely, I was thinking about like more names on the show and stuff. I mean, and that way that would actually help with the other thing as well, in my opinion. I mean, you bring in some like bigger names and everything, which I would love to try. A couple people I would love to try to get on here. Let's say Kane would be one. Would be great to have him on here. Al Snow would be another one.
Oh yeah,
It would be fun.
Because
the
there'd
guy
be
behind
stuff we
OVW.
could talk about, including the old picture that Frank Reed gave me out of his collection of when Al Snow was part of the Kangaroos.
I hope he don't punch you.
I mean, when you say
I was
Al,
going to try to get his sign just like I did the Ron Powers WCW photo. So,
when you say Al Snow and back in this area, all I'm thinking is back to a certain shop where he heckled somebody so bad and nobody knew it, and we're all here, and every one of us was dying except for him because he didn't get it. So I think it's probably one of my best in person Al Snow moments ever.
Yeah.
And some of the I kept seeing the reel too with Mick talking to Edge like about like, hey, how many matches are in Al Snow's greatest matches tape? He said none because there isn't any.
Wasn't that the
Al Snow is
ENC show?
hilarious in the locker room.
Mick Foley rips Al Snow so bad, it's funny as hell. I love it. Oh, I think we're at you, Z.
So for me, one of my personal things that I would like to see for the show is we've made friends now. We've opened doors to us, and people we saw today. Let's give a shout out to After Hours, Teddy Long, and Mac Davis for shouting us out and giving us love and stuff. How cool would it be, like we did with We Talk Wrestling, invading, but having a show just once maybe, but Falls Count Everywhere After Hours, starring with Mac Davis and Teddy Long, and we got to hang out with them and visit and conversate just about wrestling, about things going on, how we feel about it, how Teddy sees it, because he's a great influence. I love watching After Hours. It's now on my notifications that it dings me, and even if my phone's on Do Not Disturb, it's a ding, comes right through my phone because I want to watch it. I want to hear what Teddy has to say as he's one of my favorites. So that would be something cool in my eyes if we did a Falls Count Everywhere After Hours with Teddy and Mac. Also, I just want to see the engagement grow. I want to see us do better with social media and doing more engagement stuff so that we see the whole brand as a whole grow. I want to see us all eat from a table of passiveness and enjoyment. So if that could happen, we see the engagement just flourish and blow up, and people are like, "Yeah, these people are freaking awesome." That's what I want to see happen.
Mm-hmm. And I think we've given that impression to just about every guest we've had, and people who interact with us, because I mean there's a huge database of wrestling between all of us, and we just try to make it fun. But we also try to make it real too. Mm-hmm. As far as when it comes to the world of professional wrestling, I mean, we're not going to blow smoke up your ass. At least I won't blow. I'll blow smoke but it's not going to be up her butt. But
that's a big ass.
I was about to say, I think the master of blowing smoke is right there.
Whoa. Why are we pointing fingers, bro?
Well, speaking of which, if it wasn't for this show, we would have had that opportunity to stand outside with two.
I definitely got to join a circle that I never thought in my million years that I would get to pass little happy trees around with. Two absolute legends, two absolute guys that I've always enjoyed and I've always looked up to when it comes from a fan's perspective of professional wrestling. It's something for you, GQ. Like, want you to know and understand, like, I am so grateful for that moment. You have no clue what your friendship means to me, for you putting me in that position to have that opportunity.
That's why I did the Randy Orton thing and I did it. So
no, still F you on that one. Don't even try to pull. Don't even try to pull that one. Don't even try to pull that one. Like, how many times have I talked about how much I love that man as a superstar from a fan? Like, Randy Orton's a GOAT in my opinion. Like, Randy Orton is
but
easily.
Ever since the one time I did the one show with him, Ruby, I think, was on the same show too, weren't you?
Are you talking about the local
CCW?
Oh no, I was not there. I've heard about it.
And ever since I never got a photo with him, and I had to do it.
I respect it. I respect the hustle. Just because I'm giving you shit doesn't mean I'm not like, congratulations, but you're still an asshole. Like, it goes hand in hand, bro. I love you, but still a dick.
That's crazy. But also, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy those shout outs. And I also want to say a special thank you to Mac Davis, and all because Wednesday is when I approached him about the possible shout out, not knowing that Friday he was going in for shoulder, bicep, and tricep repair. So that's repair on the muscle, bro. And he sent the next day he got out of the hospital is when he sent that personal one. And I'm like, man, you did not have to do that. You could have just been wrestling. But major props to Mac Davis, and he even at 24 hours removed from major surgery like that on the muscles in pain, and he still did the freaking promo for us.
Hopefully this doesn't. He wanted sympathy. He wanted sympathy.
I mean, he did have.
I hope this does not blow up in my face, and Max stretches me because he actually had a wrestling career. I come to find out and started digging into. So, I just thought he was a great voice.
You think he got that bill doing commentary and talking and everything like that? Go for it. Look at us. We'd be like mega stars that way.
Man, I'm back. I'm a pant size away from my high school weight, bro. Don't even talk to me about weight. I'm a pant size away, my guy.
I'm about 10 pounds away from my high school weight.
I am nowhere near mine.
I'm still like about 270, 260.
I'm about 100 pounds off from mine.
If I can hit 250, I have my high school weight, but I want to get to 240.
I have to go down to a diet concentration camp for about 6 months and just leave, or else I would be just in trouble. If I wanted to get back down.
Hey, I got off camera. I got some suggestions where you can go to get some weight loss going. Just saying.
Well, I'm at 255. I don't care.
No. I think you get something else from the east side.
Well, but, you'll gain about a couple of some ugly pounds and all that over that way. To keep hanging over there.
Oh,
throw the money. They'll follow anyway.
I didn't know herpes had weight. So
whoa. Get back. God dang.
Well, no, is what the words are attached to. Anyway, moving on.
You should have stopped in your head.
Zach saying one thing, and I'm seeing Peter Griffin going like this.
No. Now we're all doing like Homer Simpson.
No, what did Peter say on that one when they were sitting in that church? He's like, "Hold on, no one else is going to say it. No one. All right, fine, I'll say it. Genital warts."
Oh my God, if we not go off the rails,
you guys are terrible.
Anyway,
this goes into okay, Ruby. Do we have it? Can we have not had golden memes for a while. Did you set us up with the best of?
Oh,
good segue.
I've got quite a bit, but let me see if I can break down some good ones here. So yeah, why not? Well, we'll see about getting some of these out of the way. I mean, honestly, I had a huge list.
Yeah, I couldn't go through them all.
Give you
we all know one of my favorites. And
it's not going to be on there, I bet you.
I bet. Oh, boy,
I don't know if he has it anymore. But we had the infamous Dom.
Oh, you're talking. That's a video clip. No, I do not have a video clip.
Oh, that was so good.
That may come back again someday.
That's so good. Well, we can always go to one of our favorite memes of all time.
Yeah.
Let's do the Edge of Allegiance.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we can get to that here eventually here too. So, but how about we just go right to and see where we're at? There you go. Gotta love it.
God dang it, Vince, and that stupid.
Hold on. What's funny is if you think about it, that picture looks like all four of us. You got Vince as Ruby.
Okay.
Rock is Austin Cage.
Wait, what? That's the Miz.
I'm picking Shockmaster for me. Screw you all. I'm not being a gobbledygooker. That's going to be the Miz.
Whatever, dude. Hector Guerrero carried that thing, so I'll do it for him too.
Yeah, GQ and Shockmaster. Stumble Bumble.
So you mess up your gimmick.
You see me wear anything Star Wars related, I'll tell you that.
Oh, right. Shoot. Well, I've had a couple. Let's do a couple product ones, right? As far as like, like maybe like some of the game covers that I like.
Yes.
How about we do like? Let's do this one. How about the whole backstage assault between Jack Perry and CM Punk?
Classic.
Dude,
All Elite Wrestling backstage assault. Real class. No, I'm just. Or how about this with going back a couple years ago with the whole Dance Dance Revolution with
Oh my God, that's when he like tore his quad or something.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
oh, that was so nasty too. Oh.
Yeah, dude. And he didn't. He was like walking. He wasn't even doing anything crazy. That's funny though.
No, that was actually after he came down from a leapfrog. He leapfrogged the Miz.
Yeah.
He came
Oh, was it the
down.
leapfrog? I thought
Yeah,
he was walking
came down
towards the Miz.
No, he came down from a leapfrog, but it looks like he's practicing breakdancing for the Olympics.
Two-step.
There, so. And
Boy,
then,
the Canadians are really bad about tearing quads.
Better breakdancing than Australia.
Let's see. Let's go to how about a couple products? Let's throw about a couple products. How about a Big Papa?
Yes, dude, I would buy this cereal. 100%.
141 2/3 chance of being a balanced breakfast. Yeah, that's awesome. And now, how about somebody? You want something refreshing and you have fruity tasting? Yeah, oh, so good. Get a piece of Vusi fruit on that.
Dude, I want to blow that up and make it a poster for Chase in his bedroom because Chase's favorite wrestlers. Did you see that my kids found fusion beads? Right, like the whole iron press fusion bead stuff. Like,
yeah,
they call it something else, but now they call it fusion beads. And he made a Yeet bookmark out of the fusion beads. So the kid's like a huge Jey Uso fan.
Let's see. Well, I know a couple of you are these particular type of dads. So
Now
I'm
long lasting.
Yeah. So how about a bunny saying, now it's time to go to bed, so I'm not going to click on the cat videos that YouTube is suggesting. And then, well, just real quick.
D, are you feeling like you're being targeted here a little bit?
No, I watch cat videos. It's okay. It's peaceful. Actually, here lately, I've been watching diving board mishaps.
Oh my God, diving board mishaps.
Yeah.
Let's see. I had to throw this in. I think it's probably a certain holiday theme, but when your mom says to take your little brother trick or treating with Danhausen,
it's one of the best. I love Danhausen.
Let's get him on the show. I know Ruby will love that.
Dude, Danhausen's freaking hilarious, and he's,
I agree, 100%.
And he's good. Like, people don't give him credit for what he deserves.
I would love to get him and Danielle Housen on this show.
If we get Danhausen on the show, yeah.
Don't shake your head no. I think that'd be great.
didn't say no.
No, I did.
Yeah, no, he's shaking his head no. It's like having Topanga on the show would be great.
Yes.
I mean, yes, but I wouldn't have to, I could not be on the show. Just saying.
Why?
Red Rocket.
Facts. Topanga and I are like the same age, bro.
Sees that stuff. Anyway, moving on.
Sit down and throw a towel over yourself.
I legitimately grew up with Topanga. Like, she's one of my major crushes, bro. Don't even try to play. Yeah, I'm getting hot even thinking about it.
Well, guess what?
Down boy.
If you got the meter, then feel like the $1 million man and take the girl off.
Oh my God, Ruby! Beautiful segue.
You feel like you take your girl out for the 2 for $20 deal at Applebee's.
Oh, yeah, man.
There.
Hell yeah.
So.
And I didn't even know that one was next, or I had nothing to do with it. It was just
my wife and I definitely try to get as cheap as meals as we can.
I mean, I can't say shit. When me and my fiance went on our first date, she said she just wanted to go cheap, so we went Taco Tuesday at Taco John's.
Yeah.
Taco John's is fire though.
Dude, man.
Yes.
No, one
I like
taco
it, but
place I missed around here, though. I'm sorry, I'll say it is Del Taco. That and
Can't say I ever went.
oh, and then there's a one chain that was also a taco joint called Noggles. That place was fire too, man. But
Did you buy food
long-
like Ted did?
Oh yeah. I mean, I took. my
I want
dates-
the 12-piece taco set, please.
Yeah.
Because
No. I'll tell you what. Back in the day, remember, and I'm really aging myself. When Taco Bell had 49-cent tacos, I literally had
Boy.
a $5 bill. I said, "Give me 10 of them some bitches," and I am eating them all.
well, you know how many times I made a trip to Taco Bell after me and my friends went out, like to the bars and shit.
Oh, dude, Taco Bell was taco.
Shoot.
Yeah, that was
The
I'm
line
sorry,
would be
in-
like
in
all
my
the way up to the
area,
street.
it used to- late night food runs was Jack in the Box.
See, no, when I lived down in St. Louis, it was White Castle.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Don't me. At least I have a great legend that just smashes them as bad as I do, and that's Jimmy Hart, man.
Not
Anytime
anymore.
you go to St. Louis,
Not anymore.
why?
He had to give them up.
Really?
He said he can't do them anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
Poor guy.
Sucks getting old.
Poor guy. Poor guy. Jimmy, just so you know, this mouth will continue to smash White Castle burgers for you, my friend.
Let's go to another one here. How about not every match needs to go 20 minutes, and then like it's if those indie wrestlers could read, they'd be very upset.
I'm not laughing because I've seen it way too many times.
Oh, dude, that's why I'm laughing, because I've seen it way too many times, and I've only, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the hillbillies here, if Arkansas and Tennessee were action figures,
that's crazy. That's wild. That's
Ain't
wild.
lying though.
And their cousins.
Facts.
Oh,
yeah,
guys.
Arkansas and Tennessee is figures, but the gear was supplied by Georgia. Anyway.
Nah.
I would have said Kentucky.
That was good. That was good, GQ. That was a good one, actually.
No, by Tractor Supply Company.
Farm and Home Supply.
Joe Dirt.
Here's another good one here. Divorced men after 40 on dating apps.
I still love this meme so much.
But it's the truth, though.
It is.
So is that one I sent you, Ruby, but we get canceled if we play that one.
Oh,
no. This one also has the same every dad's profile picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
Let's do. I'm going to throw this one out here for Z again. You know, your neck is killing you, but that Texas Roadhouse gift card isn't going to spend itself.
JBL's the best.
JBL.
Dude, when he told me that story about the time when I was in Indy, when I met him, he pissed on the Oklahoma sign right in front of Gerald Briscoe. It had me in tears.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Gerald was actually talking about stuff like that on the podcast.
Yeah.
Him down in AAA is cracking me up right now with all the stuff that he's doing down there with them. Beautiful stuff. Him and Eddie.
Briscoe and JBL's podcast is hilarious.
Him and Eddie walked so JBL could run down in AAA.
I'm going to throw this one up here because I think it's funny. But they have one magical day in the kingdom when Mickey turned heel.
Oh yeah, when we.
I'll say it.
That was from when we were debating on who was going to be buying WWE, and Disney was in the running.
Fucking kids.
Now here's the time to drop the F-bomb. Fuck them kids.
Apparently so. Oh my goodness.
So I still remember one of my favorite times, GQ or Ruby, was when you know how you mentioned earlier about your Facebook fucking up or whatever, and you was out for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then I mentioned you to getting the green card, and you didn't want to talk to me for a couple of days.
I was. That was a very salty time for me. You picked your wrong moment, sir.
Ruby was heated through all that, bro. He was not having it.
I was like,
I should know. I had to deal with it, helping them out. So,
luckily, I still have no holes in my walls in my office. So that's how lucky I am.
How about the rest of the house?
There's no holes. I've seen most of the house.
It's we hired them. I hired them well.
Hided them.
Yeah, hided them.
He hided them, man.
Here's another one. How many kids' mouths?
That's funny.
How the kids smiles from a $200 package of school pictures. You know what I don't like is whenever my kid doesn't smile at all, or they put their hair in front of their eyes, and I tell my kid, I had to tell my kid this, like the last 2 years, or no, this past year. I'm like, you put your hair in your eyes, you're not going to get your picture redone. You're going to look like Cousin It in your yearbook. So you make sure you get your hair out of your eyes.
You see, before Ruby went that way, when he said, "You know what bothers me and what I don't like," and I thought he was going to talk about he didn't like head. Anyway.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I can't say anything because I was mentioning I got the H. Donkey, I got O grades. Oh, inside joke. Okay. Let's see. There's another one. The DNA results confirmed that everyone is your brother.
Brother.
Let's see. And then let's do a. I'm going to do one final one before we go to our finale here, and that is the WWE cameraman who failed camera angles at positioning 101 with
eat balls, big ass.
Sasha to eat balls and Cass with the big ass.
Terrible timing. Terrible timing.
Well, I mean, with her, it couldn't happen to a better person.
So you want her to eat balls? Is that what?
Right. That was the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view.
Yeah, I still think it's one of the best pay-per-views they had too.
The name of a pay-per-view called Great Balls of Fire. And I'm thinking
because
somebody's caught something.
We got Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe on that card.
Oh, bro.
So that I don't care what anyone says. That card is not bad to me because of that match. Like.
The other day, I saw parts of WrestleMania 35 where Samoa Joe just like basically squashed Rey Mysterio like in 2 minutes.
Yeah, Samoa Joe, easily one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, he was a beast. I wish he got pushed a little bit further than just the U.S. title.
Oh yeah, he should have been WWE champion at one time.
Yeah,
he was injury prone like a
or Universal or whatever, but should have done something. So,
all right, guys, like just running NXT better.
Oh, his NXT run was amazing. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
to see a Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe match like that, Samoa Joe is one of my favorite TNA wrestlers. So for me to see that match and a match that I would have rather seen than Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, like it was a fun match. That match is really fun. Samoa Joe and them.
Yeah, well, we got one more, guys, and it's one of our more iconic ones that we kept around, even though the brand is not the same, but the name is still there. But make sure that you put your hand over your heart as we give our Edge of Allegiance, everybody.
The Edge of Allegiance.
There we go. And that wraps up our gold memes for tonight. We've had a lot more, but we may still pull some of those best ones out, down the road. So you never know. But it's been quite a show, guys. And thanks for somebody not mentioning that I spelled episode wrong. That's
Well, hey, just want you to know, we need to throw some shade to Chris Exodus, because if you listen to the thing back, he says it right the first time, and then he said it wrong the second time.
I thought he did. That's funny. But no, I thank all the guys that gave us a shout out. Mac Davis, Teddy Long, Chris Exodus, Ricky Reyes, Sean Cruz, Glenn Williams. I know I'm missing one. Goodness gracious. Who was the Oh yeah, Chris Exodus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so all those guys, we appreciate you giving us a shout out for me to put in there. I talked with a few others, but apparently timing wasn't so great and miscommunication, but that's okay. We'll probably get those guys maybe on in a future date. Because some of those, we had some great guests. I would like to have them back on again, and it's been at least a year. So, but we'll work on that.
Episode.
Yes, I know. I get it. You're lucky I didn't choose Star Wars font for this. So
should have. Now you have to. Every one of them, like just
yeah,
GQ stuff. Just
I'll put GQs. Yeah, next time when I do the video package, his font is going to be Star Wars and this name coming across.
Dude, how cool would it be? We're going to get in trouble if we did it, but how cool would it be?
Galaxy, Mr. GQ.
Yeah,
Have it slide up the screen.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Just basically saying, "Fuck you guys" right now.
We love you. We love you.
And this is why the Green Ranger is a lot better than the black one.
Whatever. Zach for life, dog. Doggy crew.
No, I have to say that with the Green Ranger. I can't say it with his other persona that he got during Mighty Morphin Time because that would just sound racist.
And by the way, no, the Black Ranger is still great because Tommy Oliver plays the Black Ranger too. So,
my God. Well, guys, I totally appreciate. I appreciate every one of you that's come on and.
Well, don't forget about Big Texan and Mr. Herb Simmons and the lovely Ava Brooks for joining us this evening to share the time and the celebration. Very, very thankful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you to everybody that's joined us here tonight. We definitely appreciate every one of you. Couldn't do it without every one of you, man. But here's the 200 more. Why not, man? We're on a roll. God, that would make the show run about 10 years. Whew. Thank you. I'm not going to think about it. We're just going to keep going show after show after show after show. And as long as we're doing this, we don't see an end in sight. So until then, guys, we are actually going to be off next week for 4th of July, but we will be back on July 13th for episode number 201. So there you go. A well-deserved break, I think. So
I'm still putting you on a wall. Oh no, 4th of July's Friday. No Friday night race night either.
Yeah. Unless you'll do it for Saturday, but who knows?
Ooh, we will.
Who knows? But that's the Dirty Heel Austin Cage. That is GQ. That's the Jumpsuit Mouse, Zmiz, and I am Rough Cut Rick Ruby. We thank you each very much for joining us this week. And we will see you in 2 weeks for episode number 201. Have a great night. And thanks for 200 great episodes and many more to come. You guys have a great rest of your week.
Love you guys.
Hard nipples.
Hard nipples.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
What the hell?
Waiting for Ruby to hit the end of live button there.